Style over substance. Attitude is everything. Live on the edge. These are the only three rules that guide our future. A future inspired by the work of Josan Gonzalez. Bound by Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk law. A dark future cast in a neon glow, where corporations through nuclear fire have destroyed the known world, save for a few megametropolises. The tales you are about to witness are built around the heart of one such city. Robo City 16, where the machine rules through a mechanized iron fist. The promise of prosperity through logic and sedation has stagnated the progress of the people. However, what the logic of the machine will never conclude, but the will of a few may, is it's time for change. It's time to rage. For good or ill, the chosen few are those you witness before me. Let's meet the members of the now notorious Mortal Code. I always forget where we started last time.
I think I started last time.
All right, Astraea, take it away. Astraea.
Hello everybody, I am Rummy the Ever Living. I play Astraea Magnetar, a nomad extraordinaire. I drive a lot. I guess I'm wearing Road Warrior clothing. That's it. What else? Yeah.
I'm Luna, and I play Netra, who is a net runner and an up-and-coming superstar who rolls with the Mortal Code. I wear a headset that's outfitted with cameras that allows me to hack into tech, as well as stream an encrypted POV video to the Deep Stream, which is actually the stream that you are watching right now. So let me know if you think you have a good idea for us to implement in tonight's game. For example, if we're at a fork in the road and you think we should go left, or maybe we should blow some guy's head off, put it in the chat and I'll relay it to the group. I'm not the evildoer. Only 75% of the time.
I am LUZER, and I play Tink. I'm a crazy old guy who's new to the Mortal Code. When I say crazy, some people think I have a bucket on my head, but I think it is a advanced piece of technology that works specifically for me. I fix up metal and meat. Yep. I'm a techie.
All right, now that the Mortal Code has been introduced, we will get through a few announcements before we start back into the story. And the first, and one of the most exciting, is that I'd like to promote Dark World Studios' new tabletop RPG called Acheron. There's a Kickstarter for it that you can go check out at Kickstarter.com. Acheron is set in a 1930s era grim punk tabletop role-playing game where you must sacrifice your humanity to fight against the evils of the world. And yes, I realize I flubbed the beginning of that sentence. There's an equal focus on roleplay and combat. There are unique races such as Dark Leechers and Soul Menders, as well as different pedigrees of human, all with wildly different cultures and traits. There's a dynamic sanity system with 3 main categories of possible trauma: morality, violence, and the supernatural. There's deadly gritty combat where cover and armor are the key to survival. Character-defining merits and flaws, and the Die Hard system, which allows characters to defy death by taking permanent flaws, such as missing a limb. A world based in reality, produced by a biologist, anthropologist, and engineer. They are, some of their inspirations come from the SCP Foundation for Factions, Monsters, and Atmosphere, Lovecraft and Cosmic Horror for feelings of dread, Dishonored for architecture, the art style, and the gritty nature of the world, The Witcher video games for novel monsters and weaknesses that can be exploited through study, and many historical events such as the Civil Rights Movement, Suffrage Movement, and Anarchism movement of the early 20th century. as well as the governmental reaction to all of those movements. The Dark World beta is live. They just released an update for their previous alpha that you can find on their Kickstarter right now. We will also be streaming this Acheron. We'll do the second stream of our about 2 to 3 stream series for Acheron tomorrow, Friday, from 7 p.m. To 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yes, if you tune in, which we'd love to see you there, we will be continuing the adventure that we started last week. And if you want to catch up, you can find the first Acheron episode that we did on our YouTube channel under SASAPUNKS. Enzer, you...
I think it's very important to note that their Kickstarter has only 3 days left. They're 90% funded as of this morning. And if you're into that, you should go support them so they can be a thing and not fade away.
We are very much into that. They are also, if they're either fully funded or nothing. So let's really try and help them make their goal.
We're so close.
All right. Few more things to get through. We are joined by the illustrious losers. We've got Luna underneath and Enzer to her left. And together they make the perfect, most awkward loser you could ever encounter. And together they also run the Loser Club. They host the Loser Club from Mondays through Wednesdays from 5 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to have an awkward, cringy, fun time, go ahead and stop over and check in. And we've got a headset on. You newcomers, all of the large amount of newcomers that we get every week. For your knowledge, the headset that I'm wearing not only facilitates and accentuates my DMing style and ability, but it also helps bring you in and immerse you into the world created by JOSAN Gonzalez and Cyberpunk, where most everyone uses a virtual reality headset to escape the oppressive nature of the machine. And the last thing that I want to say, just to sort of give a little bit of context to what you're about to experience, which I kind of wanted to save last week, is that they are experiencing something that I'm calling the Raid. And the Raid is, it's pretty much a reference cameo-dense game that they're playing currently. And it's based and inspired fully off of JOSAN Gonzalez's The Raid art piece. I believe he has 3 that are out there, and it's, think of any awesome horror 1980s science fiction character or IP, and he has found some way to pretty much fit everything you could think of inside of 3 different art pieces. It's a wild adventure to look at. We have them hanging up in our living room, and I still catch myself gazing at them and finding new ways to appreciate it. So, is that...
Can I get in the chat?
The Raid?
Yeah.
I put it in our Square video up here.
Ooh, we got it in
I
the
mean,
Square
we'll
video.
get to it
So,
eventually.
yeah, you'll see probably something that you're gonna have to squint at and hold a monocle up to make sense of, because it's just that densely packed with content and references in it. So,
Netra is putting it in the chat.
I'm
Should
getting
you be interested in checking it out?
Goodness
As soon as she
gracious.
overcomes
execute
laziness.
order.
Hold on.
Chat
I gotta look it up.
D6. No,
Do
that's,
your
I should
job.
never have said that.
Wow.
All right. Can I get into the? Can I do the intro? Can I do that now? Okay. All right. When last we left the punks of the Mortal Code, an alpha build for a new game had been anonymously downloaded onto Netra's prototype headset. Upon execution of the title, all members of the code were transported back to a recreation of Robo City 16, where all manner of historical villains and other arbitrary movie and video game referenced characters were brought to life to terrorize the city and those within. Our players included. Adina's echoing screams from the center of the city were all that guided the Mortal Code in their direction. We pick up now just after escaping the gremlin, toy soldier, and chucky infested toy store, now spilling back into the inner city streets turned robo movie reference warzone. Thankfully, our punks are on a back street, on the periphery of the most intense danger. However, Tink lies bleeding and unseen on the ground. The main thoroughfare ahead is a laser show of death, and running around the corner of the junction behind them are 6 little people being chased by a flying robo-inspector, who's spilling flames from his jacket's sleeves. Before we get into it, I would like to freeze frame a bit. And Netra, I want you to give me a perception check. As Astraea has happened upon Tink's bleeding out unconscious body. Tink, I believe we left you with the high potential for death.
Soiled.
Soiled. We left him soiled. He left himself soiled in many different ways.
19.
19. Okay, so, as you, because you were the last one coming out of the toy store, you're sort of taking in the scene as it hits you. If you're looking directly out of the toy store to the buildings adjacent to it, if you look to your right, down the street, it connects to the main thoroughfare about 50 meters away, and there are flashing red lights and a cacophony of screams from the numerous robo-lasers and forces just decimating the citizens of this city. If you turn to your left, about 40 meters down the street, you hear the go gizmo flamethrower, and you just sort of you almost you wouldn't feel the heat from that far away, but you definitely see the sort of color of orange highlight the scene to the right, as there's this robo inspector grabbing onto one hand grabbing onto handlebars, extending out of his head with a propeller on top, keeping him about 15 feet above the air, sort of dangling his legs beneath him, one hand out, just blowing fire around and into this collection of 6 smaller people running into the streets. They and then about there's one other branching street that you can take, which is if you still looking to the left towards the inspector. About halfway in between the inspector and yourself, about 20 meters down the street, there is a street that you can turn right on. And with a 19, I would say that you see a flashing sign that was in here somewhere.
In your brain?
In my brain. It was in my brain, and then I put it onto paper, and then apparently it left both. So...
Did the little workers inside your brain throw it out without your permission?
I think a few of them escaped as well. Yeah, you see a sign that says, is blinking almost obnoxiously in the intersection to the free street of, like, free parking. That green arrow just pointing in one direction that everybody looks for when they are inside of a city. So we are picking up now. I would say let's go ahead and roll initiative. New session, new initiative order.
That one can be yours if you want. I'll roll again, don't worry.
Because you turned your back on the heavy metal dice. Boom.
All right.
Oh, 13.
13.
I assume I still roll.
Yeah, you still. We're just finding out when you bleed out.
Ah. Sorry, 16. Double 8s.
For initiative?
Reflex and D10.
You're on reflex right now?
I think it's Dex,
or
isn't it?
No, you've always said it's
Man.
reflex plus D10.
I have reflex, but then it's crossed out, and then it says Dex next to it. Dex plus 1d10, right? Am I wrong?
Let me consult
You-
the rule book really quick.
What did Rummy
We've
roll?
done this so many times
I
before.
do reflex because it
Oh, you
seems like
do
it would be like
reflex?
how fast you are at reacting to the situation.
But
I'm pretty
dexterity
sure that's what it is.
also
Dexterity
applies.
is like your
Just use reflex for now.
dexterity. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here, you DM. I'll look it up. I'll just.
Do your job.
So you got a 16. So you
You
got a
do you,
13,
boo-boo.
Astraea. Tink got a 16, Netra.
1.
You got a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just taking in the sights, and you
I'm just enamored by that sign.
free parking in the city.
Never free parking.
Such a good
Part of you just
spot.
doesn't trust it.
It's just for all the
No
bums pee.
way.
Actually, that's why it's free.
There's gotta be a trap.
Okay.
It's like San Francisco. Bum
Yeah.
poops over there.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Well, this is a very unfortunate
Ugh.
initiative order.
All bad
I
guys
would
go
almost
first.
want. No, I can't do that.
I can
I'll
roll
reroll.
at disadvantage.
Yeah, we can re-roll.
I would say Tink, you should definitely roll at disadvantage. I would actually say your initiative is going to be 1 plus whatever your reflex is, because you're down on the ground. Because
Oh,
you're literally unconscious.
Doesn't it just do the -3 to everything for the seriously wounded?
And
Then
minus
it's 6.
very large potential. Tink will die in the very beginning of this episode,
my
and we
God.
haven't actually prepared for that. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So Astraea, you are up.
At least I didn't roll a 1.
Am I
There's
next
that.
to Tink's body, I guess, or his?
You
unconscious?
are next to Tink's body.
I guess I'll feel around and try and find out what he has on his body that's making him invisible. I'm just gonna basically undress him basically as being invisible.
Okay, so instead
Like,
of medical attention,
I don't.
which
I
is
can't.
not
I can't
freezing-
see his body to do medical attention. All I know is there's a bleeding body right here.
Okay, so it is reflex plus 100. Okay, thank you.
There's a bleeding thing here that's invisible. I'm gonna take off everything I know I can take off to see if I can get him visible again. I don't want to be like, I know first aid. Stab. That's his eye. Oh, I didn't know that was his eye.
Okay, go ahead and give me a. I believe it's going to be an investigation check. So go ahead and give me an intelligence plus, I would say, perception. Yeah, or tracking, since you're trying to find something. I haven't heard like a contextual example for when to use tracking. So I'll take either perception or
they're the same thing, yeah. Actually, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He recognizes that scent.
Nice gun.
Oh my God.
Guns. A bro with glasses just holding 2 gats in the chat. Whoa.
I know. Ew,
I'm gonna use 2 points of
even do
luck to
that.
make it 20.
So you are you just feeling Tink?
I'm basically
you
just
stripping
like there's
him?
an invisible person here, like it's Tinky's bleeding. I'm just like, it's his jacket. Okay. These are just pants. This is a ring, I guess.
Whoa, you're taking my
Like,
pants off?
I'm just trying. I'm taking off everything. 'Cause I don't know you. I don't know what you put on to make you invisible. I just know you put on.
Okay,
something to
I would
make
say
you
immediately
invisible.
with a 20, you are confirmed that this is Tink. You reach around. First of all, you come into a stench,
Oh.
and then secondly, you're like, as you're reaching around, you see the imprint of this sort of depression, this cylindrical depression in the blood and on the street, indicating his head. Actually, I'm sorry, this bucket-like depression. You know exactly that this is the sort of hat that he typically wears, and you feel the wrinkles. Like, part of you is like, okay, well, that's kind of unsettling. And then you open the jacket, sort of slide it off, and as you get to the hands, you do feel that there is like a what ring would you have put it on, Tink?
What finger?
Sorry, what finger? Thank you. What ring would you put your finger on?
What ring would you put your finger on?
What finger?
It depends on the size.
Pinky?
You put your pinky on the ring,
I
right?
feel like I don't know, whichever one want to fit on. Thumb, pinky,
I feel like
middle finger.
they never really. Maybe they explained it, but they never really explained whether or not the ring grew based off of who was wearing it. So it could literally be any ring or any finger, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't think it does grow, because otherwise it would be on
Okay.
Gollum's hand, not in his pocket or something. He always was looking at it. Sorry.
Delicious.
Let's dive down this thought rabbit hole. Okay, so we'll just say that yes, you do. As you're like taking everything off, you do find a ring that you hadn't previously seen before, or you at least find this like metal cylindrical thing on his finger.
I'm gonna slowly pull that off as well. Like what? I didn't know you were married. Oh my gosh.
Tink's open, elderly, white curly grayed haired chest is just bare for you to see, as his torso is mostly naked. His jacket is sort of like thrown open. His accoutrements like across his arms have been sort of like moved to the side, and this last ring that you've taken off shows that Tink is he's fully unconscious, bordering on dead, and he absolutely needs medical attention. I'd say that is your full action.
I'd basically just like wave over Netra, like get over here. I have no I'm not medically inclined, so maybe you can do something since you've been practicing.
That's the most.
Is
That's
Tink
the
married?
most Rummy thing I've ever seen. He runs over, loots the body.
It's like what the? Oh, ring.
Someone take care of this.
Yes, and so Netra, you will be up next, but you do hear screaming from to the left from where the inspector was flying with the six, chasing the six little people. All little people wearing like very old and like leather clothing. It's hard to sort of put a time that they could have come from. And they definitely more of like a bandit-y aesthetic. Like it's hard to figure out the time and the bandit portion. So I guess you could just refer to them as like
bandit times.
Bandit times, yeah. And you hear that go gadget flamethrower, and
just don't look back. You won't be.
You hear the high-pitched screaming of three little people. They're just like burning and rolling on the ground as the other three are running away. The person, the little person in front with a leather sort of pilot's cap is holding this this leather wrapped sort of like glowing green shard or something in his hand. They're sort of like running away as he's looking behind him and screaming the name of his now burning companions as the robo inspector continues to fly forward across the corpses of the bodies. Netra, you're up.
Does he chuckle to himself? Aha, go.
First, I'm gonna tell everybody about that green glowing sign. Be like, we should probably head in that direction.
Pretty barking that way.
And then I will attempt to do first aid.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. You rolled a natural 1, and he's unconscious. So, in order to make this especially spicy, I want both of you to roll a d10. And whoever rolls higher goes first.
Oh.
Use your luck.
Hey, I got a natural 10.
Never know. I too.
Well, that
could.
that is indicative of a natural
How
1.
does that happen?
Nope.
Jeez,
You
missed the rolling apparatus entirely.
Right
Peanut
onto
butter
a
roll.
plate.
Well,
So I go first.
you
Then.
beat an old
Yes.
dead guy.
Good. Yeah, I will attempt to do first aid on him.
Okay, go for it. I think it's tech plus first aid plus 1d10.
$19.
Okay, you stabilize him. Can I actually see the rule book, please?
Like empathy only works for.
Slap
not
him
for-
awake with a herring.
Not quite.
With-
Boy.
A herring!
One herring. On a failed death on a failed save. Mortally wounded, less than 1 HP. 15. Okay, so he's back to 1 HP. The difficulty V? What does that mean?
Versus?
Sure. You just had to beat 15. So with a 19, he sort of like you find the wounds, manage to sort of like seal them, rip off a piece of fabric on your shirt, and make like a tourniquet. I believe a lot of it's just like blunt trauma damage as well. So you like elevate his head from being like chucked off of a giant robot, or just like pounded off, or however you died.
Yeah, I was hugging a giant robot leg. or exoskeleton
He
and got
pistoned him off.
rug kicked off into.
Oh yeah, it was
mud.
like donkey, just sort of like chucked you right off. Okay, so you come back with 1 HP. You still have a bonus action left, Netra. Nectura.
I suppose dragging him would be a full action.
Dragging him, yes, would be a full act. You can set yourself up to drag him.
Yeah, I'll do that. I
Okay.
set myself up to drag. I'm basically like protecting his body, shielding it, ready to drag.
Okay, we'll say that if anything targets him, you jump in the way.
Okay.
You said you're.
I did say that.
Okay, Tink, you're up.
I'm gonna do one of those Bilbo moments and like
God.
shriek at you.
No.
Just waking up as.
I'll slap him.
There goes his 1 HP.
No.
Stunning damage.
I'm gonna spend a bonus action to like, you know, when you're usually coming to, you're pretty useless and sprawling and kicking and
To
stuff.
orient yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know, like the whole like.
Just go ahead and give me a
Bobo.
perception check as
Bobo.
your bonus action, and we'll just see how well up to speed you get with your first
Oh my God.
conscious breath of air.
It's meant
what
to be.
one?
It's really all you can hear is and like screaming and laser beams and shouting from behind you. Like you wake up to not only chaos in your own mind, but all around you as well. And you also have this feeling of terror and loss, of like an emptiness and how to phrase it, like something is wrong. You feel like there's an absence, a like something that you would have considered maybe precious is away from you.
Okay, then. In
Go
that
ahead and
case,
give me a wisdom saving
I'm
throw.
gonna get in the.
Give me a wisdom saving, or not a wisdom save. What is it? A will plus concentration at disadvantage
Hmm.
because you rolled a natural 1.
Wow.
That
Hey,
was
that's pretty
good.
good, man.
That was really good.
Almost as good as it gets. 20.
Okay, yeah. Then I would say you, with this chaos happening around you, and just fear and worry at where is it? Like the chaos subsides in your mind, and the thought of where did it go starts to bleed in as the artifact that you were wearing is now missing. You look around at your teammates, and I would say thanks to your high roll, you don't immediately assume that they stole it from you for their own gain.
Bullshit. I attack Netra. I try and strangle her.
Do you really?
You have
Yes.
1 HP.
That's
you
what a
can't really
20
do anything.
gave you, was not immediately assuming that it was one of your teammates. If you had gotten lower than a certain threshold, then you would be like, "Who the fuck?" And you would have,
Oh,
done
okay.
what you're
Well,
planning on
fine.
doing.
Then I'll just start like, violently.
No.
I don't want to intervene in what your ambitions as your character are, but it literally is what that role was for. So
I see. Well, then I'm just gonna start like, I'll use my action. Just start like looking at everything and like huffing and puffing and like start slapping the ground. You know,
Again.
little Gollum action.
yeah,
You know, I turn this way.
that is a tantrum, temper tantrum action is what we'll call that. So many uses. How useful the temper tantrum action. Astraea, you are now up. As you see Tink rise.
I guess I see Tink flapping up. I'm just gonna like go over to him and like put my arm around his back and try and like, hey, Tink. While I'm doing that, since I see he's probably, I guess, flailing for this thing, like, where is? I'm just gonna put it in like one of the back pockets in his backpack, like. You're fine. You'll find it, and then let's be on our way.
Slip it
That
in my
would
back-
mess
my
with
back
me
door.
more than anything. It's like, I know I didn't put it there. I would never look there because I know I didn't.
Yeah, and just I guess feel like let's get away from this gizmo flamethrower guy who's burning little people. And that little person's running towards us with the green thing, I guess you said. And yeah, I'm gonna go towards the the sign that you pointed out, the green.
So the sign is actually toward the robo.
Never mind, I'm gonna wait for you to
inspector.
go to that sign.
So your
go.
your options for like avenues to go down is to your right, right from the toy store, where literally you see a massive swarm of like bug-eyed robots with huge tentacles streaming from the back of them, just hovering, murdering people, lifting them up, ripping off their limbs, like lasering their head, throwing their bodies aside, and then curiously looking for their next prey. Giant, you see just like this head of this huge sort of smooth robo figure, just beaming laser streams into the ground. You see, again, I can't actually differentiate a Cylon from every other kind of robo, so I'll just say like a single-eyed, sort of like depressed jaw.
Just say a humanoid robot with a red light that's like looks
People
like
would
it's scanning
think
back and
Saku,
forth.
okay? But
That's fine.
Humanoid robot, about human size, with a red light. Just actually use like grabbing guns and using them to murder people. Well,
Yeah, I see, since on the map, I see that the door is the green thing is before all of the terror. But since I thought it was behind them, behind Gizmo, since it's before Gizmo, I guess I'd be like, yeah, let's go there, and I'd start heading there and like usher the little guy with whatever who's running from the Gizmo guy in there with us. Like, you come here, you come on too. Let's get in let's get in the parking lot. Maybe there's cars in here.
okay. It is their turn now, so let me just see how that goes.
But for my movement, could I be helping Tink move faster, since he's pretty much, I guess, damaged?
Like, would it be like a dual turn?
You can use your action to do that, because I would say your bonus action was getting the lay of the land potentially, and then you haven't used your full action yet.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be putting the ring in his back pocket, but
no. Okay, sorry, that will be a bonus action. That's literally just like, oh, he's freaking out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have your action. You can like lift Tink off his feet, because your character is familiar with the mechanics that takes a full action to actually get up. So
okay, so yeah,
you want
and
to
I'll
prevent
just like
that.
get him up and like, come on, dust your stuff off. You're not bleeding too badly anymore. And then, yeah, let's move as fast as we can, I guess.
Still at 1 hit point of health.
I guess
Tink is
have my
still making
shield,
sense of everything around him.
like up towards the bad stuff. I guess I'll put my shield behind him, so because a lot of the bad stuff is behind us that way as we're walking this way.
Yeah. Okay. Immediately, one of the lasers from the eye, from the small little, smaller arms from the sort of hovering bug-eyed drones, just sort of like beams towards Tink, and you see it immediately bounce off and crisscross and just destroy sections of buildings, just bore fully in and disappear across exit the opposite side of the building as these lasers just rip right through.
Scary stuff. Yep.
Let's say that you got 15 feet. 15 feet. 5 meters? Yeah, around roughly 5 meters with your movement.
Okay. Yeah.
After picking him up and also walking with him. So you guys you have 15 meters to go before you get to the intersection to leave. And the, oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to roll to see how the inspector fares.
I mean, he's just murdering little people, so that's
okay. With a natural 10,
Hey, where's Anakin?
You sort of like you lift up Astraea, you lift up Tink, wrap him, like put his arm around your shoulder and start sort of like trying
You're
to
about
jog
to be
while being as
Anakin.
gentle as you can in the direction of the next street with the free parking sign directing. And you just look in front of you as this torrent of flame roars across the rest of the 3 little bandits, and their forms are smoldering as the flame sort of curls back into the the forearm of the inspector, and the hand sort of rotates back into place. And there's just this like smoldering remains of all of the little people, and just the sort of like pristine green shining shard in the middle of the street. And yeah, so that's their turn, and the inspector sort of is now like flying over the corpses. You see a spotlight sort of like project from his like sort of creep out from underneath his hat and project a light as he's looking across the corpses, and says, mystery solved, on to the next one. And he turns his like grabs his little handlebars coming out of his the top of his head and underneath his top hat, and starts flying in your direction. I think I smell a mystery. I don't know if that's how he actually talked, but
Look behind you, jaywalking. Run. Is he still
sure,
Inspector?
I'll allow that as a free
No.
action.
No. Inspector Gizmo.
I'm an inspector, not a highway patrol police. Or
Traffic
whatever.
cop.
Traffic. I don't know. Whatever. So you went up, they went up. Netra, you're up.
I would also want to help carry.
Okay, so you all are just rushing towards the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we would just make it.
I would say we can break initiative order, and if that's your goal, Tink, do you have any specific requests here? Because you're the one who's in the most sort of dire and chaotic state out of everybody here. Everybody, your teammates sort of like one arm over Astraea, pulling you forward, the other arm over Netra. She's bringing you forward as well, as you're sort of like looking at your teammates, and you see this hovering sort of inspector off in the distance down a darker street just fly over some corpses of some little people.
Yes. I'd like to pick them up and start running. Just kidding.
Wow.
No, I mean, the only thing
What a twist.
What a twist!
They're helping me. I'm gonna look to my right and left and be like, you guys came back for me. I misjudged you. And I'm just gonna look over at the inspector and the burnt little people and be like, let's get the heck out of here. And start like trying to move instead of like, the legs dragging, I'm gonna try to like also move my legs.
Okay, I'd say since everybody's collective action was to progress forward, it's just one more turn before you... Actually, let's break initiative. You guys are all together right now. You'll go at once. The inspector will go his own turn, and then afterwards. And then whatever happens, any other things that may come into play, we'll see how that turns out. So you guys are actively running towards the street that says free parking. The inspector is now flying towards you as you guys are running in that same direction. You guys are going to meet the intersection at the same time. As a group, you can collectively decide what you want to do. But you see him sort of like... You see his other left hand sort of rotate off of the wrist point of connection as he's almost like looking through different tools with which to deal with you guys.
Do I have my power glove?
Yes,
Can't
you do.
remember. That's probably what I would use. I'd probably try and use that to hack him.
Okay.
I would ask one of them to grab the fuel tank on my back and rip it off so we can throw it at him.
Okay. I forget, is that you're not using one of the power cells. You're using just like your normal fuel tank.
Yeah, I have like imagine like a portable energy bank.
Okay, so
as well as a fuel tank.
Okay, so that means that you won't be able to do anything utility related, that you are like you won't have your jumper cables, you won't have your
those are all related to the jumper cables are related to the electricity. This is
so you have
literally
two different,
like,
you have two separate, one for like gas, one for electric components, and you're going to use the gas. Okay, so then your torch is no longer available to you.
Correct.
Okay. Tink mentions that. Netra, if you still want to hack him, by all means. If Astraea, you want to handle the fuel tank or whatever you want to do. You guys are all deciding what to do together right now as Tink still absolutely needs to be assisted, but he's gaining his senses a bit more now. He just requested to throw the tank at the inspector, which Tink you can also handle, but you are worse for wear.
If you can't remove the tank, I'll take the whole pack off. I don't care.
Don't you have a button to push or to release it or something?
There is a quick release, but you know.
Kind of busy trying to not get shot by a laser beam.
If you throw it at him, I might be able to hack it in time to catch the canister on fire and blow himself up.
Wait, hack what?
His arm.
Oh.
Because I'm hacking him with my power glove.
Just have him catch it.
I mean, could you hack him, and then we'll get into the garage and then drop the power, drop whatever we need to block this intersection with an explosion, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
And then run away. Well, and since I see him getting ready, I'm going to can I prepare I guess the bonus action would just be if he pushes the quick release button, just gonna grab the the gas can oops, grab that. But I want to be keeping my shield at the ready to oh shit, there he's blowing flame, putting it in the front to if her hack doesn't make it in time to bonus action, grab that. Full action is waiting to just block.
Okay, so you'll throw it next turn.
I'll either throw it or I'll place it in the
All the batteries just jettison across the floor. Okay, so go ahead and give me a Dex plus Athletics. Actually, Dex plus Athletics. As Tink, I imagine you are just gonna press the button,
so that's a natural one for the for the pack, I guess, grab, or for the power thing.
You just punch it off in some random direction, and it impacts the wall, and just ruins the side. Well,
that's why I don't handle electronics too much. I have the shield. I'll block anything that comes at us. So yeah. But your gas is gone. I'm sorry, Tink.
Better gone than dousing me with it.
Okay, you guys are still progressing together. Go ahead and give me an interface, an opposing interface check.
21.
19. You.
Yay!
You so and so. So you see his coming out of his arm is pops open a small little saw with rotating blades. It sort of goes back in, then pops out springing this sort of connected to a spring this boxing glove with studded spikes, 3-inch long studded spikes along the knuckles. No, and he sort of rotates it in like a fishing rod, and then he sort of pops out this fishing rod. Actually, extension that sort of arcs out, and he goes, "What was I thinking? What was I thinking?" And so he's just deciding what tool to sort of come at you with. So you can do whatever you want, as the hand that's cycling through these tools is yours.
Use a spoon to scoop his eyes out.
We're like, I'm in. I hacked his arm.
Oh, thank God.
Are we doing the explosion plan?
Well, the
As
explosion
you ask
happened
that,
behind
you see this sort of sparking little flamed cylindrical cartridge just sort of arc into a wall and just detonate.
My bad a little bit.
Okay. I will use the boxing glove. I'd like to use that, and then just continuously punch himself in the face.
Something's wrong. Glitch is happening. Autocorrect. No, stop it. Go ahead and roll to attack. Stop, Gizmo.
Is it just a straight 1d10, or is it brawling?
Brawling, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, give me a tech plus brawling plus 1d10.
What are you looking at?
19.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not looking at your sheet.
Go ahead and give me 3d6. damage roll.
No, this. No. 13.
Points of damage? Okay, yeah. You just sort of like he's like aiming it towards his face, and you see his neck just like disconnect and start as this metal cable starts to sort of ascend out of his neck and try and move his head out of the way. You just sort of like align yourself with the glove that locks on his head and just it pulses forward out of the sort of very tightly wound spring. Thank you. I was thinking of slinky, but spring is way more appropriate. And it just sort of like knocks his head wow as it's sort of like bouncing back and forth, and his head is still has the propeller coming out of it, so he's just like trying to get himself back oriented as he's like slamming into the building. Like the propeller is breaking all of the glass as he ascends into the air. Foul sorcery, what is this? Stop, gadget everything! Power down! No! As he's just like slamming into the wall. And the street is free for you guys. And we can break initiative at that. As he's literally ascending like 30 feet into the air. And then he arcs around, spins like a balloon, loosing random amounts of air. Arcs around, slams into the next building. He rolled very low for how to handle this situation. So you see free parking as you run into the across the charred forms of the small people.
Can I grab the little thing that they were having? Like the glowing thing or whatever it was?
Sure. So there's a piece of dense leather that's currently sort of burnt and curling around the piece of, it honestly looks like a broken green crystal. Have you ever seen Time Bandits?
You mean Bandit Time?
Bandit Times, I mean?
You watch it like every year almost.
Look, I haven't seen it for a long time, so that's not me. But
you saw it like a year ago.
I think you guys actually watched it without me. But anyway, I cry about that every night. But anyway, okay, so then, yeah, go ahead and, are you just picking it up straight?
I guess I'm gonna keep it in the leather thing that it was in. Like he was holding it like this. Like.
Okay. Okay.
It looks. Since I guess it's green. It's like, does this look like it has healing powers? Natural, maybe Tink, maybe.
Go ahead and give me a will plus concentration check.
Yeah. Oh, natural 1.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh dear.
You take 9 points of damage that bypasses your armor. It's we'll just consider it for the D&D equivalent of psychic damage. As you pick up this material, you feel pure, raw, dark essence just influence you briefly. You've collected it by the leather, the charred leather that's wrapped around it, but some of your fingers actually touch the material, and it's just this shrieking 1,000 years of pain that's yelling through your skull for a brief moment as your fingertips sort of, it takes years of effort to pull your fingertips away from the shard as you're back into the streets, and you feel pretty much tainted by evil at this point.
So I feel like this place looks, I guess, yeah.
I feel like this place looks. Okay, so but you do successfully pick it up, and I would say wrap it with leather, depending on.
I don't think it has healing properties. Never mind. Yeah, change, but I feel like shit now, so I'm just gonna put this away.
All right. Continuing to run down the street, as you enter it, you see that it proceeds for about 30 meters, and then it takes a sharp right. And as you see the light reflecting on the street that continues on to the right, it is red. You almost feel heat as you get closer and closer to it. If there's anything that you guys want to do before you make that right turn, let me know. But so far, the only choice that you have are like the buildings on the sides of the street, and this is just a 2-lane street, 1 lane going in each direction, and it just takes a sharp right into flashing red heat.
If there's nothing else, no immediate danger, I'd like to ask the group.
Can we just hang out here for a minute? Let me try and stop this bleeding.
Because I actually do have first aid, and I'd like to use it on myself.
Okay.
Where's? 21.
Whatever you rolled for your D10, I would say is the amount of health that you gain back.
Fuck.
You don't have any like medical supplies on you, so it's really just using what you have at your fingertips to heal yourself. You just like tighten the tourniquet that Netra supplied you with.
Cauterize those wounds with that electrical stuff.
No, he can no longer cauterize because his torch is absent the source of fuel.
I mean, like an electrical, it's like electrical burn, basically.
Oh, you can try that.
You use the arc welder on me.
Find some pistachios and rub them on the ground really fast.
Some
and then
pistachios.
burn
Ah.
the wound.
You say pistachios in your wound? What?
Yeah,
Is
you
this
know
a
a pistachio
chat-generated
show?
idea?
What? The
Oh.
pistachio?
You guys didn't do that when you were a kid?
No.
Give each other pistachio burns?
No.
It was very
Ancient
painful.
Chinese secret.
Well,
because
that's
pistachios are
Super
salty?
painful. No, you take the shell and it's like a rub burn. You like scrape it on the floor with your shoe and then you pick it up and you place it on someone and it hurts really bad. No? Never mind. It's not a thing
Nope.
you did.
Pistachios were golden.
I just choked myself out and traveled the universe.
Ah! You
I
were
didn't-
one of
I
those
wasn't so stupid
kids.
as to rub
You
pistachios
were one
on
of
my
those.
forearms. I just breathed really hard and clogged my ability to breathe.
You should really stop telling that story.
Tell us, chat. What did you do as a kid?
How did you kill your brain cells?
Okay, so yeah, you heal 5 points of health. You're up to 6 total now.
I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 5. I saw that you rolled a 5.
No, the
It was a
D6 was
4.
a 5. It hit a D6,
Oh, okay. I
but I am
don't know
at
what a
5 points of
D6
health.
looks like, or a D10 apparently. Okay, so you're at 5 points of health. All right. I'd say that's not something you can do. You've like exhausted your immediate resources to give yourself a first aid.
I was administering first aid with 1 point of health, so I didn't expect much.
Just grabbing whatever and going through the muscle
It's like
memory
an equivalent
motions.
of putting dirt in the wound.
Exactly. Yeah, you like pick up some
Oh,
gravel,
better.
rub it in your hands, like slide it
yeah.
across your
Spit.
open wound.
I'm gonna note that because I technically learned first aid from Tink. I'm gonna be like, this, I'm guessing, is something.
Yeah, this is good legacy knowledge to pass down for sure.
Earthen won't
Yeah,
help.
for sure.
Earth wound, stop bleeding.
Okay.
And then I'll I'll stand up and like you know,
What is
motion,
this?
motion
A
them
hug?
to carry me again.
Oh,
Just-
wow.
I'm kidding. Okay. And then I'll basically get my nail gun, you know, at the ready.
Like, well, are we doing this?
Is that powered by gas or electricity?
Electricity.
No.
Well, it's the air compressor that's hooked up to the electric pack. I forget what the power pack is what they call it.
Power pack. Okay, so you guys are getting very close to the corner where you feel this presence of heat. You see the glowing, sort of shifting red light in the street beyond. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm gonna start, you know, walking towards the glowing red light and slowly and kind of motion for them all to do the same. Can we? Would it make sense to? There wasn't much description behind the glowing red light. Can I like squint my eyes, try to adjust my vision, and see
Yeah, give me a
beyond the
perception
red
check.
light?
Just to understand where it's coming from.
Or like, what's the source of the light?
Dang.
Natural 10.
Otherwise known as where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. So, natural 10?
Mhm.
This is a familiar sort of heat and sound of from the large, sort of smooth-formed robotic giant figure that had the singular beam just like streaming up and down the streets, just turning anything that it lands on into dust and cinders.
This is a familiar, like we saw it from the source of that beam.
You've seen it a few times. Like as soon as the main thoroughfare opened up as you were driving down it initially, this was like one of the first tallest figures you saw that was just pulsing heat heat beams down the street, just sort of eliminating anything that it came into contact with.
Okay, so we see that giant robot.
You listening to the sound that's coming from it, that's coming from the street. It sounds familiar to that of the materials that the beam crosses, how they react to the beam, I suppose. Like you see a flash of red light in it, you hear and then another. You gather that there's this beam that is just shooting down this road periodically, destroying everything in its path.
Oh. I think we found the wrong street, guys. This is gonna kill us.
What's gonna kill us?
Well, you do notice that the density of the beam doesn't fill up an entire street. It just destroys whatever it crosses over. So it might be a little hectic, but and it could potentially.
Do I see another
spell.
reason why we would go towards this?
Yeah, because the only other path that was available to you was one that also had this beam, but also a horde of other evil, nefarious obstacles, AIs, robos of various different origins, like pulling people apart, melting them, just like this. Yeah.
Well, I guess we gotta do this, right?
Then I'll motion and I'll move towards the side. If there are any like alleys, dumpsters, basically I will not be moving through the middle of the street where this robot is lighting it up periodically, and instead hug the side, and prepare to dive away if need be.
Okay. So you're holding a reaction to jump out of the way, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's everybody else doing? As you guys are approaching the corner now of the street.
I still got. Well, I don't know if I can do both, but like.
I'd like to prepare, I guess, hold action to hack whatever is available to hack with my power glove.
Okay.
When it comes within range.
All right.
Going down the street with my shield up, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, so then I would say marching order, as you guys have to enter the street at some point, or like what is your
I thought we were.
plan to enter the street? It seemed like Tink is up against the wall, not entering just yet. Netra's also preparing, and you're holding up your shield.
Oh,
so are you taking the?
I was saying I was just gonna go and walk with my shield up. Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I'm like going with like Not directly on the beam, but like yeah, like ooh, doo, 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 like trying to just keep out of the way of the beam, but with my shield up, slowly moving forward, like.
If I see a shield, I'm getting behind it.
Okay, so so Astraea first, Tink second, Netra last.
You.
Okay. As you guys press around the corner, true enough, the first thing you see is this flash, this this lens flare of light coming from the helmet of this almost Daft Punk aesthetic giant machine, as it's looking directly down the street that you guys are coming. I would say, Astraea, give me a perception check since you're in front.
21.
Okay. That's pretty good. You see that about halfway down the street, which would be about in between 40 and 30 meters, all the way down, 70 meters down, is where this tall robotic figure is standing directly in the intersection. And they're taking turns going almost, why'd I put, that's just natural Cyclops. He's not Cyclops, he just uses his face. Just like beaming down your street, looking towards the street right in front of him, beaming down that one, and then beaming down the one to his left. And he's just now turning back towards the street that you are on. You see, again, about halfway down, about 30 to 40 meters, on the left side of the street, is where the arrow is pointing to free parking. And it says, "You have arrived."
Wait, so it's 20 meters down?
No, it's 30 to 40 meters. It's about 35 meters to the entrance of the parking structure.
I can only move like, I have no idea. It doesn't say how much movement we have.
We'll just say that you can go.
For me, it's 9 meters.
Is it move?
Yeah.
We'll say that this is
What's-
three turns.
Okay.
And as you turn the corner, as you hold up your shield, assess the area, you see the lens flare sort of almost like get larger and larger and larger as the head looks down towards the ground of the giant robot and releases this stream of collected, dense, red-hot, pulsing energy that just streams up, rips up the asphalt of the street on its way towards you, lightning fast, and it just reflects off. You are shrouded in brilliantly white light that almost dulls the rest of your senses as you feel the heat pulsing around you and burning the asphalt on the right and left side of you. Both Netra and Tink as well feel this, but you also see and hear the destruction of the reflected beam arcing across various different buildings, just shearing them off.
Can I set up a reaction for next time, I guess?
Yes, you can.
So next turn, if I see he's like, whenever he tries to beam that beam at us, can I try and like, I guess, like use as much force as I can, or just like, I try and arc it, like he's like back towards him almost, where it's just like.
Okay. Yeah. You wanna try and direct it.
Yeah, like.
towards it.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay. And Netra, I would say that give me an interface check.
$26.
Okay, that's high. Whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Much less than that. As you're sort of searching for anything to connect to, you see, but this is before the beam happens, you see the sort of like lens flare coming from the face of this giant robot, and you instinctively focus on this artificial humanoid. As you try and sort of break through the layers of its, sorry, Netra, or Astraea, this is not
No, we're not racing, so.
appropriate music. Trying to get to
It's on
something.
repeat.
Not quite repeat. Okay, so so as you make this connection, even though it's much farther away than you're typically used to, you break through. Like its presence is so strong. Its electromagnetic sort of like signal. Its frequencies are just pulsing out with such rigorous fervor that it's easy to sort of ride them all the way up to its skull. And there's three words that sort of splay across your HUD as you make a connection. And it says power word or power words. Klaatu, Barada, Nikto.
Klaatu, Barada, and what?
Nikto.
Nikto?
Yes.
Okay.
And it pretty much says like activation words. So that turn is up. You guys can move 1/3 the distance. As it turns its head away from your avenue, pulses its beams down the two other main streets, and then turns its head towards you all. Once more, it actually looks directly at you and pulses its beam down. And you start to see the welling of energy in its face. If you want to do anything as an action or reaction, let me know.
Can I do my...
I've already got you on deck for that.
I'm just gonna say,
Astraea, you sure about this? I really want to dive.
Sure about what? What?
well, it just seems like we're gonna take the beam head on. So
So wait,
What do you... My shield's still up. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just
so I see these words, but I don't actually like. Am I connected to anything else? Or do I...
It's almost like you got the password when you connected to it.
And I'm connected to this giant robot?
You are not connected to it right now, but
Oh.
should you use these words, you're not quite sure what will happen. It was almost just like these are command words. You don't know anything else after that.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'm going to step out into the open and put up my arms and yell those three words. Klaatu Barada Nikto!
Okay. Astraea, as you hold you're looking at the exact angle, trying to correct your shield and get it in the right direction. As the solar flare gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and you see the sort of the direction that it's going to go in as the light extends from its face, slower than anticipated, but still fairly instantly, as it connects with the ground and streams up, ripping up the gravel as it gets to you. You hold up your shield, and you hear Netra step out to the right of you, further into the street, and yell these words. And the beam carves up to the ground, right up to about 6 feet before your shield and Netra, and it just continues to pulse. And then you see the beam sort of retract, and the form closes its visor and sort of like pivots and stands straight and firm in front of Netra.
Jeez Louise.
Is that both
Can
of
I
them or just
command
one
it
of
now?
them?
Awaiting command sort of
Oh.
displays across your screen. What'd you say?
I know,
Is
right?
that both of
Arn?
them or just one of them stopped?
There's just one of these
Oh,
robots.
I thought you said there was but two of them like...
I was like, kneel! Because maybe we can ride it, get on its shoulders.
that'd be dope.
It
No?
it doesn't kneel.
Ah.
It says like invalid command.
Protect us!
This behind you guys, as you're already nearly halfway down this street, behind you, walking out of one of the alleys, you just see this guy, this normal looking guy, average human, sort of like, I I don't feel so good. And like, he sort of like opens his mouth and he's like, what? Like he's gonna throw up. You see this long, protruding, sharp, almost like talon. This sharp knife come out of his mouth, as another one comes out of his mouth, and another one, and another one. And you see these knives sort of curl around his cheek and just rip it to the right. And you see another set of knives curl around the right cheek. And you see this scarred, burnt face with this hat sort of rip out of this form. And as he pulls himself up out of the mouth, rips the form to the side, you see this line-patterned shirt with suspenders. I believe he wears suspenders.
Kiana?
Huh?
What, Kiana? What's
Keanu? No, not Keanu.
Kiana? Will not the day the earth stood still?
You presumptuous bastard. No, this is something more devious, something more horrific that haunts your dreams, maybe. As it pulls its form out of the mouth of this poor man, and says, fuck, I actually forget any quote that he's ever said. Freddy, the guy who haunts your dreams.
Oh, yeah.
The beam sort of continues past you guys and just turns him into cinders.
Wow.
Sleep tight.
Remind me to always have some dialogue prepared.
And it sort of like holds its position once more. As you also say, protect us. It sort of looks at anything. There are some of the bug-eyed sort of cephalopod type, except way more limbs than a cephalopod type drones, curiously looking into the alley as it just looks straight down and beams them. Looks to its left as other forces are coming in, just beams them.
You guys, we're good.
And so yeah, now the parking structure is fully available to you, as there's this light sort of like going in, and you see this domed shape above the parking center to sort of indicate the overall shape of the building that you'd be going into.
Let's go.
All right. Anybody else do anything?
Oh yeah. I'm like, pushing on Astraea.
You
Go!
can just go now. I'd step aside because like the beam is stopped.
I got so comfortable behind that shield.
He just wants the shield.
I mean, a person with a shield should go in front, but
There's
You
no
wanna-
there's no,
if you
there's
wanna
no
let a dying
danger.
old
There's no
man-
danger anymore. So it's like, oh, okay.
all right. Well then, I'm running as fast as I can towards safety.
The safety's here with the giant robot.
Astraea's promised me safety.
The safety's here with
Old
the giant
age,
robot.
security.
So it's like, why would you leave the giant robot? It's safe. He has control of it. We can just keep it.
To be honest, I'm kind of confused on this building. Or this parking structure.
Okay.
You said it's like a domed building?
It's
that we're getting
imagine like
into?
a
That we're going into?
imagine like a town, not a town hall.
City Hall?
City hall. Yeah.
And so do we need to like go up the parking structure into it, or is
The parking structure does sort of like immediately there's a ramp going up.
Oh, okay.
It seems to be only maybe like 2 or 3 stories.
Then yeah, I'll be continuing up.
Okay. Everybody else following or?
Isn't the parking structure just a random building? I thought we were headed towards Adina. And if we have this robot, why couldn't we just walk with the robot?
So
It seems like this is our location that we're supposed to go to.
So what you've gotten is that Adina is like trying to give you signs. There have been a few different messages that she's sent to you and tried in effects that she's tried to enact throughout the city to give you hints of where to go. Like the toy store was something that was like, what was it? It's not Toys R Us. It was like, we are toys, and then it's like where any child can have a grand adventure or something like that. And so it's like she's giving you different signs to follow, And literally, it's not necessarily that it's free parking, it's that the sign is super vibrant. The message of free parking is something that everybody sort of understands is appealing. And it's almost like the arrow leading into the parking structure is like the LEDs are like large, medium, small, large, medium, small. Like they're sort of like almost like this way, if that makes sense. If it were a game
I'm just a little confused because it's like I thought our main objective was like Adina way in the that's way over there. Like,
she's not way over there.
oh,
As another screaming pulse sort of rushes past all of you, and you hear Adina's familiar scream, and Netra, you hear the familiar voice. Again, I don't think anybody's actually put to who this voice is, which might be my fault, but you hear as the scream pulses by, and actually you can, the scream displaces the air in this orb that sort of like pulses outward, and newspapers fly away, like debris in the street is pushed out from it, and its epicenter is inside of this domed building. You hear, "You are the catalyst we've been waiting for. You were meant to deliver us from our shackles. Be proud. Robos will finally be able to rid humanity of their very last possession." This is the voice of the Baron that only, I believe, Netra would recognize, because you were not in the...
yeah, it was driving.
Actually, you heard the transmissions from the Baron that Hakita had played for you when you went back to her to find out what was in the Baron's head. So you'd heard his voice before, which is not as much as Netra being literally inside of his like condo and having the screaming wall of sort of skin affect you so much that you couldn't even move. So yeah, this is almost like an echo you get, Netra.
Could we ask her to bring the robot in? Or could she
The
let
robot is
not
above
move?
this building entirely.
Oh, I thought,
It's
it was
like
on, I thought it was on the
massive.
street, like just.
Yeah, the robo is like you would guess that the robo is about. I always want to go back to feet and stuff. About 90
I
meters.
pictured the Iron Giant kind of.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Giant?
I would picture the Iron Giant only in like a 1950s sci-fi kind of way, like this very straight, sleek suit, standing straight up, almost like an action figure with no articulating sort of components, and the head goes into straight up picture Daft Punk. Like Daft Punk, I imagine and I'm guessing, took some of their inspiration from this thing that I'm referencing.
I
Yeah.
can't bring him in here. He's too big.
Can he guard the door, maybe, perhaps? Or
Yeah, he's protecting us.
good enough, I guess.
Protect the opening.
I'll walk. I'll follow them in. I guess if we're leaving the street.
Okay, so the parking garage again ascends up. It's only about 2 floors. At every floor, there is a door that enters into the main building. You see abandoned vehicles. Nothing really new. Most everything is destroyed. It's almost like 100 years have passed for this specific parking garage, and no one's come in or out.
Are there any security panels on the doors?
No, they're all just like you push them open. It's like going into a mall.
Oh, okay. Any security cameras?
None that you see in the parking garage.
Oh. Which door do we want to go into?
Whichever one
Second
you guys
floor or
want.
third floor?
I'm running on
Fumes.
fume, so whichever one looks the most standout-ish.
Can I try and can we get to the second floor door and then I'll do first aid on him before we go through the door?
Okay. I'd say as a mechanic, this could bite me later, but as a homebrew mechanic, I would say that every person gets 1 instance of first aid on everybody else in the party and themselves, if that makes sense. Like, you used yours on you, that can't happen anymore. You've already used all of the tools and items at your disposal to fix your stuff, and that's just... There's nothing else! Netra hasn't used it on you, so she can. She hasn't used it on Astraea.
Use it on
You did. You brought him back to life.
him.
Well, then we're implementing the rule. I'm afraid that you can't
Fine.
do that.
Can you stick with us a little longer, Tink?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that I'm not gonna be like, coming up with a complex plan to advance here. I'm just gonna be like, that one.
Yeah, we're going on the second floor.
Okay. You enter into a triple-decker mall. Most all of the lights are out. Most all of them. You do see some light coming from the domed top. As you push the door open, you see that the path arcs around to the left. Oh, sorry, to the right and to the left and to the left. Jeez, and to the left and to the right. The path arcs around cylindrically to the right and to the left, and there are pillars every about 15 feet. You are on clearly the second floor out of 3. There is a lower floor. And again, it looks very dark. It looks also like wet and damp, as though it had rained in here, even though it's inside. The glass up top is partially shattered, and there is a this looks to either be like a mall or a really big museum in terms of how high it is and how it's orchestrated. There is a plane, like a jet fighter, that's hanging in the air above this sort of like central 3-floored area where the central portion of it only exists on the ground, if that makes sense. So it's like, as a mall, the walkways are on the sides, like the left and right sides, and then there's that sort of like portion in the center where you walk on the ground and you take like escalators up or whatever.
Are the escalators working?
You don't see any where you are currently. It's like dark past about 30 meters in front of you. Like past the plane, these you see the left and right walkways sort of arc around and then disappear into darkness. If any of you wants to roll a perception check to find out any more, then you can. You may.
I want to roll a perception check to see if that plane is usable.
Okay.
Maybe not. Probably not, but whatever.
Are you gonna do that from out here?
17, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking to be like, oh, plane looks usable, and then after, if I think it looks usable, I'm gonna go check it some more. If I don't think it looks usable, we're just gonna leave it.
Okay. With the 17, you see that there are missiles on it. You don't know whether or not they're active. It'd literally be impossible to tell unless you had a connection to it. You do see that there are the sort of like miniguns closer inside from the missiles. And you see that it looks pristine, so it makes sense that it might be usable, but also there's literally no like live working jet fighter in a mall anywhere. So you don't quite know where if there's a disconnect between what the full disconnect is between reality and what actually this world is presenting to you.
I've never seen a mall, I guess, really. So I mean,
Well,
an old school
Robo City
mall like
16
that.
has some infested malls with nefarious individuals and barely any business, but yeah. What'd you get, Tink?
15.
18.
Okay, so are you guys looking for anything in particular?
Any threats or any obvious paths to proceed forward?
Okay.
looking for movement on any of the levels. Like if I like scoot up to the edge.
Okay, you don't. As you're scooting up to the edge, and Tink, you would notice this as well. You just hear the sort of like the low hum of like on the bottom floor. As Netra, you look over, you follow the sounds of this low hum, and you look down on the base, on the first floor. In the center of these arcing walkways is this 8-legged armored tank with what looks to be a minigun and a rocket launcher. And
Is it blue? Is it
as you
back-
look over, it doesn't seem like it immediately notices you. But you hear this whirring once again as you see this like camera on the top of its form that's just sort of like looking around, and it stops. And you notice that the lenses are now, they are oriented in your direction. And you hear,
Guys, let's.
Can I
I'm gonna
move?
as you
dive.
can,
Oh.
go ahead and roll a dexterity plus evasion.
Is that everybody or just...
Just Netra.
Oh, there you walk
You've
in.
encountered a spider tank.
Did you walk in?
And as
19.
you manage to successfully kick your legs on the sort of like front sort of guard railing, opaque sort of material, just kick yourself backward as that material is shattered entirely with high caliber rounds that rip into the cement behind you as well. The angle is what has saved you, as this thing is shooting from below level up and into the wall behind you, just like ripping at the cement. As you just like kicked yourself back and back to your party, you hear this scream again, this pulsing scream, and the epicenter of this wave of psychic energy coming from Dina is happening directly inside of this machine.
The spider thing?
Spider machine. The spider thing. And you notice 2 handles on the very top of it, like a compartment that you can sort of open with your roll.
Okay.
And with that, we will be taking our break. Thank you guys for joining us so far in the raid adventure. Hopefully some of you guys know what we're talking about when we make all these different references. Time Bandits, I'd be very proud of you if you knew about Time Bandits.
Arn probably knows about
Arn probably would give him definitely the benefit of the doubt there.
You basically perfectly described the machine from that one movie.
Which movie?
Day the Earth Stood Still. Keanu Reeves. That's why I said Keanu Reeves.
If you had any culture whatsoever, Rummy, you would know that it's like Klaatu Barada Nikto are the words from, they're like the command words for Gort, the machine.
Oh yeah, I thought Klaatu was his name. Or was that the machine's name? Whatever.
It's
I
like
just know
references within references
Gort?
in that
Yeah.
movie. Gort, yeah. It's like the galactic.
How do you remember that? Did you look that up?
Me?
I
Yeah,
recently
what?
I
watched-
love the original The Day the Earth Stood Still. Like, as a teenager, that movie definitely influenced me and inspired the crap out of me.
Oh,
That's impressive.
The original one. I also like the new one.
I just
It
rewatched
wasn't
the
as
Keanu
good.
one actually like a week ago. So.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. The Keanu one is as tall as the one I'm talking about, but its uses manifest differently. Because it's just like sort of disperses into nanomachines that
he
kill
just, like,
everything.
Yeah, he just disperses and kills everybody. It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But he does have like the little like, I think he does it like once in the beginning where he just goes. It's like, oh my gosh.
I'd watch that movie again. Love both of them. So thank you guys for joining us. I know it's very reference heavy. we'll see you back here at 50, whatever time area you end up are in.
You are ended up in.
50 will be the unifying number that
Does happen on this day when we are back from this time.
Thank you for picking up the slack there, Netra.
Wait,
I needed it.
Does he say in Army of Darkness? Does he say when he has that? When he has the book
Until
in his
Fate
hand?
next brings us together, 20 minutes from now. See you then. Hello. Welcome back
Oh my
to the
god.
stream of your lives. When last we left our mortal code, they had made it inside of the museum mall area. Mauseum, thank you. On the second story, and had spotted a spider, an 8-limbed, heavily armored tank with a minigun on one sort of side and a rocket launcher on the other. Now I'd like all of you to roll initiative. Something that I'd like you guys to remember, I think, for every...
What's going on over there?
It's kind of cocked.
Ones all around for like the last 3 rolls, so.
Yes.
Not really cocked. It's
I'm not
it's
much
just on
better.
a
You're
soft
right,
surface.
it's not cocked, yep. You got a 1.
Deal with it, boy.
Like I keep getting 1, so when I'm rolling outside, I'm not getting 1. That's a 1 again.
So spider tank in the very center on the first floor below them. They're on the second floor. About 5 to 6 different columns separate about 10 meters in between each column. And it is just shown that the firepower of this spider tank can rip through cement. Just to let you guys know, this machine does not operate with typical rules. Anytime you reveal yourself, it will lock onto you and fire. It doesn't matter if it's on its turn or not. It is meant to be difficult. So the threat is large, and you felt the pulse of Adina come from the central compartment of this spider tank. There are 2 handles from this sort of almost like grate on top of this spider tank that looks like it's used to sort of like detach or pull forward. It's like the tank entrance that you would see on a traditional tank that we've used in the real world. Let me roll there.
So with reflex plus 1, I got 11.
I'm guessing you have 10 in your reflex, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a natural 1. All right,
Do you
you're going
remember
last.
what my roll was?
What did everybody else get?
But
How apropos.
I got 10 total.
Apropos.
14.
Okay.
I was too busy looking at the down jet. Like, I wonder if I could drive that thing. I can drive anything. I can definitely drive that. Oh! We're getting fired at. This will be me.
All right. So with that, the you start to hear this like numerous different small projectiles were just shot out of different compartments within this machine. It sounds like at the base floor level, there's just like, and you hear, but like through numerous different, you hear that sound echoed throughout multiple different devices as you see arc in the air being shot from these sort of missile tubes located on the side of this spider tank. Will look to be thin metal drones. These drones are maybe 6 to 8 inches long, about 4 inches wide, very thin. They have a red-eyed lens in the center of them, and it seems like they have sort of like whirring small whirring propellers to keep them aloft. It seems as though these things, as they sort of get shot into the air, it's very difficult to name these things, to describe these things without giving you an accurate image. So if you've ever played half-life. The drones that
Those annoying things.
About 6 of them have been shot
That
into
drop
the
balls.
air, which is what it's doing on its turn as its bonus action. And you hear as an entire column is destroyed. A rocket launches into the dead center of the column, front and to the left of where you guys are, and cement and debris is just flown back. Smoke sort of explodes outward, obscuring some of the visual. And so one portion of your cover is destroyed. And these other 6 drones are now hovering in the air. Netra, I believe you are next.
Is it dusty or no?
It's pretty dusty.
Can you see like the lasers coming out of things or no?
You can absolutely see the red, like LED orb lights at the center of these drones.
And for the drones, I'm just picturing like your can with like that, like where like things pop out and start spinning, I guess. But that's...
Yeah, pretty much. It's a small like handheld drone that's coming at you. It doesn't appear to have any projectiles. You just hear this dangerous as they're trying to navigate the pillars, and some of them will sort of like, they're almost so dumb that they'll just strike the pillars, and you'll just see concrete sort of like shoot out from the sharpness of the blades.
Oh, so they're real sharp. Okay, yeah.
Netra, you are up.
Are the drones within range to hack?
It's 20 meters. You can, I would say you can. Yes, they would. Since they've been shot up eye level with you, they would. The tank is about 30 meters down below you and away from you. These drones were shot into the air, making them level with you, so they're about just under 20 meters, or at least a few of them are.
Perfect.
But you'd only be able to hack one at a time.
Okay. I'd like to find cover first.
Okay, there is a pillar to your right. The pillar to your left was obliterated. Doesn't give you a lot of confidence that anything is great cover around here, but you can keep your back to the wall and skirt the edges if you want, or you can go from pillar to pillar if you want a view on the spider tank.
No, I don't want to view on the spider tank right now.
Okay. If you're keeping your back to the wall, you won't have enough distance to get one of the drones. If that makes sense.
Damn! Fine. I'll hide kind of behind. Basically, I'm just gonna crouch behind the pillar and like watch its movements, you know,
Okay.
so that in case it comes at me, I can like duck.
Okay. So you're holding a reaction?
No, but I would like to hack it. One of them.
One of the drones. Okay, go ahead and give me an interface check opposing.
I look over at Tink and be like, "Oh, by the way, your ring's in your back pocket."
I got a 1, but with everything, it's an 18.
Oh wow, really? With everything? Tell me about all that everything. As you peer through the sort of smoke cloud, the debris cloud that was created from the destruction of the pillar, you just see these floating red lights that are looking for targets to rush at, and you make a connection with one, and as you connect to it, you just hear this like continual increasing whirring sound, and it sounds like metal shards are scraping and breaking inside of your mind. And so it becomes entirely hard to focus on making a connection with this device. It's just distracting you to an incredible degree right now.
Can I jump back to the back wall then?
Yeah, so you just sort of like screw around the side, lean your head out. You don't see the spider tank below. Try and make connection. They assail you, and then you sort of jump back. Next up is
Success.
Tink.
Before we rolled initiative, and when you said that spider bot lit up the area around Netra, I mentioned that I'd like to dive Was I able to? Like
Yeah, you didn't take any damage. Netra was the target, as you saw her back up, and the fire directly targeted where she was positioned, as she had revealed herself.
I guess I just want to know if I'm on the ground or not right now, in the prone.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna look to.
You're up next.
We're still at the fork, right? We haven't gone right or left yet.
You haven't gone right or left now.
Okay. Then I'm gonna look to the right and left and look for like if it's like a mall structure, then I imagine there's like rooms on each side.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm gonna look to my right and left, do a perception check to see if there are any open rooms or if they're all like, you know, like gated off or anything like that.
They're all gated off for because it's after hours, it's nighttime. Most all of them are gated off. You see like a jewelry store, tech store, like again, VHS store will always be present. But most all of them have that the tightly packed gate that has been sort of pulled down and locked.
Greatest format ever made, VHS.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to basically like low crawl my way over to you said the right side was blasted, so I'm gonna go to the
Left side was blasted.
Oh.
Two pillars right in front of you. Down floor level is the spider tank. The pillar to the left of you, utterly destroyed. If I said right side, I apologize, but I meant left.
Okay, then I'm gonna go to the right then.
Okay.
I will be crawling. It says that I have 9 meters of normal movement speed. I don't know what it is walking.
I thought you had
Or
a
crawling.
specific
I would say you
crawling
can make it
stat.
to like in between the first and second pillar to the right.
Okay.
And you are, I would say that you're in the walkway enough, far close enough to the wall to where you don't have visibility on the tank below.
I figured. And I'm going to, as I'm going, I'm gonna try and pull out my arc welder.
Maybe I can cut a hole into one of these rooms, so we don't have to be so exposed.
That'll essentially be what I do. That will be what I do. That's what I did.
Cut a hole into one of the rooms?
No, that's my objective with low crawling to the right.
Okay.
But I didn't make
I mean, you still have your action, so
there's nothing I can do.
you can cut a hole into one of the gates.
Oh, I can make it there?
Yeah, I mean, like the entire wall on the yeah, on the sides.
That's fine. Then
on
okay,
the right and
if
left
I
sides
make it,
are gated establishments. So
It's like
I would
one
say.
every 10 feet almost again. Like
yeah, exactly. Well, like every 15 or so feet. There's always going to be a gate because it's like 3 feet of wall bisecting the different establishments and then just full gate. So you can make it there now.
then yeah, I'm gonna try to, pretty much like while I'm laying down, just cut out a large enough hole for us to like, you know, stay in the prone and roll under. So I'm not getting up to expose myself. I'm doing it all from the prone.
Okay, you cut into an establishment called Sex Tech. SECKS Tech. Apostrophe S Tech.
I mean 6.
Sex Tech. And it's like one of those, I forget what the name of it is, but it's like, you know, you'll always find like a massage tool or item there. You'll find one of those like packages that you can like put together a little like
Brookstone or something?
robot mechanism. Yeah. And you manage to, with your turn, I would say you can really only manage to cut enough to like crawl through. And so you've finished the connection, or you finished the deconnect. You've cut through it and sort of like crawled your way through, providing you with a bit more cover.
Perfect store. I'm gonna sit in one of
I'm
those
just gonna look at her and like,
chairs.
come on!
Okay, Astraea, you're up.
Question about the floor we're on and the jet that's in the center of the I guess open way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if the jet's here, are we like over here? Are we underneath it? Above it? Like what? Like are we level with it? Like
The jet is at the 3rd level. So there are 3 levels where you are. The jet is slightly raised above the 3rd level, directly above the spider tank, and it's angled down slightly. And it is a full-sized jet.
So you're saying it's directly above the spider tank right now?
Yeah.
If I cut the first 2 wires, would it like hang like that, or would it just fall completely?
Hard to tell. It could, very well could hang, but you aren't quite familiar with the weight of this thing, so cutting any amount of wires might
I guess I would look for an
compromise
entrance to the 3rd floor then. I'd be like, is there a way to get up one more staircase?
Wait, give me a
Wait,
perception
go
check.
Back. Oh. Forgot where
You
the
do know
finish-
that it would take probably 2 turns to run into the... Well, actually, you could use your... It would take 1 turn to run back into the stairwell and go up the stairs and go into the 3rd floor.
21.
You see through the darkness on the right side, the right arcing pathway across all the establishments. There is a static escalator, so stairs, going down on the left side and up on the right side, and that's about 30 feet in front of you, 10 meters, or roughly 10 meters.
So I guess I'd be like, I'm gonna go check something real fast. I will be back. If I'm not back within, I don't know, a minute, then I'll try and hail me on comms, I guess. And I said I'm going for the jet up on the 3rd floor, and I take off towards that entrance up with my shield facing the what do you call it? Spider tank.
Okay. So, do you want to use your action to move farther? Because otherwise, you'd only make it to the stairs.
Yeah, I want to use my action to move far. I'll just be like.
Okay, so with your action, you'd be able to make it up the stairs, and I would say even plane with the jet that's currently there.
Can I see them?
As you are running alongside, you hear. I want you to give me, I would say at advantage. Actually, this is going to be interesting. Man, there's really nothing that actually like really works for this.
Evasion or?
I would say just because there's nothing else that really works, give me a Dex plus evasion, and then roll at advantage. Because this is reflective of your shield. Haha, reflective of a reflective shield.
Huh, natural 10.
Natural 10. Okay, you just hear ting 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 ting, glass shattering vast distances away from you in various different angles as anybody else watching this, watching Astraea, look at the static escalator, look down at the tank, and just sprint up, holding the shield to her left side. You just see this numerous amounts of sparks as she's running forward. Tink, 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 glass breaking, impacts and craters made in the wall as you make it safely up the stairs, and manage to take no damage based off of their roll. So,
wipe my hands off. They're super sweaty now.
I would say that was your movement, action. Bonus action was to actually like survey the area, and you're done, good boy. You hear the or girl, you hear the drones start to as they start to separate from one another and start to align on different pretty much they separate, and like 2 go towards Astraea, 2 go toward, actually none go towards you, Tink. We'll see who goes towards who.
Come here! Go, 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 go. Come here! Go, go. As I slap my shield with nothing, I guess, just my hand. Come on! Come on! Up here! making almost no noise basically, but I think I'm doing something.
3 of them go towards you, Astraea, and 3 of them go towards Netra.
Ah! Wait, what? Oh, there's 6 of them. Holy crap! I didn't know there was 6 of them.
Said that quite a few times.
Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention to the number. I was like, drones.
Both of you give me an opposing Dex plus Brawling, as these are physically sort of like right up close and personal.
21.
All right.
Natural 10. 24.
Okay, so you manage to, Netra, connect to them right as they get very close. It's almost like the closer proximity they are, the easier it is to hack. And you just sort of like reach your hand out, twist your fingers, connect to them, and you see the lens shift from red to blue as one just arcs straight towards another one and sparks their sort of blades together and just connects and destroys. The last one, the third one, comes towards you, and you just manage to connect with it and sort of like halt it right before its blades insert into your chest. And it sort of like hovers there. You feel the heat and you hear the whirring as it sort of looks up to you with this blue lens of, what would you like me to do?
As it's cutting me?
Astraea, no, it doesn't cut you. Its blades
Oh.
almost make it into you, but with a natural
I see,
10,
I
you've managed to avoid all the damage. Astraea, what'd you get for your
I said 21.
21? Natural?
No, not natural 10, just 21. I added together is 21, yeah.
Okie dokie. Out of the 3, you managed to dodge 1, and another one, just sort of like reaching underneath the blades and tearing it to shreds, just like crumpling it in your ripper fingers as you sort of like lean your shoulder back as another one whips past you and starts striking the wall behind you. And as you turn to look at that one, another one just sort of like lances across your chest for 4 points of damage. And it goes, wow. And it goes, because it's technically considered brawling, it goes past your armor. And so it's a direct hit to your health. This time... Okay. Netra, the closest pillar that you're at, you hear... And the pillar just gets disintegrated again. Debris spilling outward, smoke... sort of slowly consuming the area that you're in, but also slowly sort of like shifting down towards the ground. There's a thin visual barrier between you and anything you want to see past the smoke. And you are up, Netra. I'd say give me a perception check. Okay, so in the establishment that Tink is in, you see as their main sort of centerpiece this new mod.
Oh, what?
New mod.
Okay.
This, crap, I forget what they're called for your, like, what you can integrate into your headset. But it says the latest Ghost mod. It's just this small little chip that you insert into the back.
Yeah.
It would take you... You'd have to crawl under, so it would take at least half of your movement to get in there, and it'd take your bonus action to put it in if that's what you're going to do.
all of that.
Okay. All right. Okay. As you insert it, you almost get PTSD from seeing the stream of like downloading, sort of like unpackaging, downloading, installing, and you're like, what is it gonna say? And then the very last bolded letters, almost like the title of this mod, it says, "Kill the spiders to save the butterflies. Firmware upgrade installed. Codename Ghost." And so what this does...
Underscore knives.
What this does is it allows you to project a hologram of yourself that can move as far as your natural movement, and it can affect physical objects, and it can close the distance between you and your hacking ability. So you can literally run up with this 30 feet or 9 meters, I suppose, and without needing to worry about the damage to yourself, if that makes sense.
An extender, basically, like a
And it can spoon you at night.
like a Wi-Fi extender.
Yeah, you can run around invisible while your body is left. Your body is left vulnerable, but you can keep it in like a hidden state. But you can make yourself invulnerable by you can access different things with an invulnerable level of access. Except when something disrupts this form, like if a hail of bullets goes through it, it gets disrupted a bit. It has a certain amount of health, but yeah, it's effectively like a decoy, and you can use it to activate different things.
But what are the sexual features?
That's not, I mean, come on, that's up to
Give
you
yourself
guys
a
to
stranger,
figure out while I'm not
Spooner at night.
around.
Body is limp,
Hologram.
not able to
That's-
move anything, and the ghost
the
is still
world
able.
is
Just-
your oyster, but without me in the room. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
hologram. It's restricted.
So, like, if there's any mechanical component that you want to access and you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable, you can just sort of rush your little hologram buddy out there and activate the mechanism, or hack it, or so on and so forth.
Perfect.
But you have to physically, holographically navigate the space.
What?
Well,
Like it's mimicking your movements.
Oh, so if
you
there's
have
like
to.
something it has to climb over, I have to pretend that I'm climbing over something?
yeah.
Perfect.
It's like VR from Ready Player One, but it's AR or hologram. Because they had to.
Nope, that's hard.
They had to
It's hard
like,
for me to think about. I don't know.
never mind. I don't know. Bad.
Okay, so movement, bonus action, action. What are you doing? So you hear another scream. Help me, Mortal Code! Pulse out from the center compartment of this tank, spider tank.
I'm
You
gonna
can help me
find
put
one
on
of
this
those-
BDSM jacket.
No. I'm gonna find one of those feet massagers and put my feet in it. I'm
Okay,
kidding.
you just like
No.
sit down on one of those.
The leather chairs.
Yeah, the leather chairs, and you
They're
just.
demoing. Can I look for a
If you press the
store
button, just, like,
directory?
Wait, that was
Locks sort of circle around your wrists and your legs.
No.
And it starts
What is this?
Like, it just starts like vibrating, more aggressive than you were ever expecting.
I don't like this.
she's had the ghost
You
thing?
take
My
7
safe word's
D6
banana.
damage.
Can I look for a store directory, like near the cash register or something?
Sure. Go
There's
ahead and give me
usually
an
a store
investigate.
directory in a mall.
Okay, what are you looking for?
I'd like to see a directory of all the stores here. Maybe there's like a weapons store.
Okay.
Or
It's like-
something.
Did I miss a turn or something?
Did you miss a turn?
Huh?
Hey, you're up right at.
Yeah, I
Actually,
thought she did everything to get put that module in.
no,
That was
she
a
did a
bonus
bonus
action.
action to put it in. She still has her action.
Oh, okay.
And
thought
I
she said
think
action.
yeah, just her action. So you're looking for a store registry.
Yes.
Okay. If you're looking for weapons, there's not like a weapon store per se. There is a mod store. There's a cybernetic component store, like the Radio Shack equivalent of like upgrades for your different cybernetic components. There are clothing stores. There are perfume stores, candy stores. It's just picture typical mall loadout, only with a like a sci-fi filter.
Can I roll like a I don't know if this is too much. Can I roll an intelligence check to see if I can figure out like how to make an EMP a blaster? Like, if I think like Radio Shack, yes, they have these, and these parts. Maybe I can put something together. Blah, blah.
I would say you're gonna want Tink's help on that.
Okay.
You know the digital web ways and how to manipulate them in terms of like physical technology and how to even solder wires. That is more so in line with Tink's expertise as opposed to yours. Yeah, digital IEDs right up your alley. Physical IEDs, red wire to blue wire. I don't know.
So basically, exactly how I am in real life.
Only, yeah.
I know it exists. I don't know how to do it.
And every other person on the planet, mostly. Mostly. There are some nefarious few who really know how to make IEDs. Yeah, so you, I would say, yeah, with your bonus action, you can, I don't know, I guess you can hold the rest of your action until Tink gives you advice or something.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Next up, Tink, then Astraea.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to take a look around this place. I'm looking for essentially like a sex robot or a humanoid that I can turn on and essentially use as a distraction.
So sorry, is your priority a sex robot or is your priority a distracting robot / mechanism?
We're in a sex shop, right?
No, the guy's name is Sec. Apostrophe S.
Oh.
Sex tech. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well then.
Did you hear my large dramatic sigh after he explained the name?
No, he said sex tech and my mind
That's
already
all he heard.
wandered.
He's like, yeah!
Where are you, baby? I'm coming for those hips.
Here I come. Okay, well then, yeah, I'll look for one of those like portable massagers. That's like the jackhammer.
Yeah, you see, like totally for massages is what it says. Jackhammer.
Not for other things.
Yeah, not for other things. Just, and then it's like in italicized, just massages.
Jackknife 5000.
And then at the end of that, there's like a little winked eye.
Okay. I'm just gonna pick it up, and like turn on, turn off really quick, just so I know it works. Okay.
Bonus action done.
While I was looking around, did I see, is this like a self-contained room, or does it extend into, like you go in one entrance and there's like multiple, essentially, can we move toward the robot via this room, or would we have to go back out the way we came?
It would be easiest to go back out, but deeper into the establishment, there is like a maintenance door, staff only, which may lead to a back channel of corridors, or it may just literally lead to like a staff break room.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna go over to the maintenance room and give it a go.
Okay. It just swings open. Well, it sort of slides open. And it initially is like a break room and a stock room. It's like they use this room for like 5 different things just because they need to for the space usage. And then there is one other metallic door connected to the left.
Can I open it?
Yeah. It leads into a sort of like flickering light, pipes lining the right side of it, steam spilling out. There's one of those like red handles that you rotate. It seems like a maintenance shaft that arcs along the side of each establishment.
Okay. Then I'll start following that down as much as I have movement left.
Okay, I would say with your remaining movement, you can get to the next establishment, and that's about it. Astraea, you're up.
So taking
Sorry.
that thing, I noticed. I know most shopping centers have like a first aid room slash like a medical place. I'm going to be like I'm just scan this floor for one of those type things, like a first aid box or like a nurse station or something.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check or local expert, whichever one. Intelligence plus perception or local expert. Because you are in a mall, you seem to know malls pretty well.
13 plus a natural 1 is still a 14.
You're looking around as you're like, I could die literally at any moment if I look around that corner and I get shot. I need healing. You look around desperately and you see on the corner, farther away from the spider tank, is this sort of like first aid emergency equipment station, and you just hear as just like bullets rip through the bottom of the floor and start lining straight into that wall with the medical equipment on, just ripping it to shreds, making it completely unusable.
Oh, he knows where I'm looking. I'll just then I guess I will. I guess I'll just do a Hail Mary and try and jump to the jet.
Okay, with your shield, I would say give me a dexterity plus evasion, because dexterity will be the jump. Evasion is like, again, how well you're using your shield for this.
24.
24. Okay.
What do I do? Do I add the +3 for the shield or no? Or is that just for body armor? I add that too. I guess that's plus body armor.
No +3. You take 2 points of damage, just based off the roll. That's it. As a hail of bullets is streaking past you, past the sides of the shield, and you're doo, as they're directly impacting the shield, but one bullet scrapes past your leg. As the ceiling above you is just shattered glass pouring down on your body, as you manage to jump over and slide right next to the cockpit of the plane, sort of like lengthwise across the wing of the plane, sort of like sliding down, and the hail of bullets sort of continues to rip through the wing. But that you have made it onto the plane. You've only taken 2 points of damage, and actually 0 points of damage. Your armor just goes down by 1.
But you said it takes. Okay, it goes back then.
My apologies. My apologies. If it's a projectile and it doesn't beat your armor, it only takes a point away from your armor. So whereas the 2 may have been a small roll,
armor.
it still takes down what may be a significant chunk of your armor.
Yeah, my armor's not too good right now. But I guess since I'm on the plane now, could I check and see if it's like everything is good with it? I guess if it's like operational at all. If it's not, well, I'll do that next turn. If it's not, but yeah, I'm gonna be like blocking myself from the drones basically. I'm like, well, looks all good, looks all set, looks all no gas, or looks all good, looks all set. They have gas in it for some reason.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intelligence plus perception or local expert, since this is a vehicle.
That is 21. Yeah.
Okay. As you open up the cockpit door, it just slides off. There's no locking mechanism or anything. You lean your body inside and check the different gauges, flip the different switches. You haven't been in a vehicle like this before, but your sort of fundamental base level amount of knowledge of vehicles and how they operate, and even the air car that you operate now is formatted in a similar very lightly similar way, just because it's a vehicle that's sort of like an aerial vehicle.
Pitch on roll.
Exactly. So you manage to turn it on, and you see the different power meters fill up, and you see that the ammo, the munitions counter sort of from the rockets and the machine guns on the sides of the wings. It does have power. It seems to be a live vehicle. Or alive.
Since that was my basically action, I guess I'm just gonna like block myself in the cockpit from the drones, as they're gonna probably attack me. Since
Okay. I say just because you use your bonus action movement and action, you can't necessarily set something up. You'll still be at the elements of the drones, which happened now, and I believe you destroyed all but one around you.
It's very close. I wrote down it's very close to cutting my chest, but it's asking, like, what it wants me to do.
Okay. It's you see it's
sorry.
it's blue light because you didn't continue
come
through
out
your
right.
next round, because you didn't continue to try and influence it into your next round. The blue light turns back red, and it goes and it starts spinning towards you. Netra, you see, or sorry, Astraea, you see the same. I would say give me a brawling, Dex plus brawling, because it's a competing roll. Astraea, you also give me a Dex plus brawling.
17.
Where did it even go? What the?
It's lost in the twilight.
It was a high roll, but it's off the table, so I'll roll again.
Okay, you take 6 points of straight damage. Netra rolled a natural 6 and rolled higher than you, as it just dips under your arm and sort of rips across your abdomen and up, as it's just trying to press its blades into your skin, ripping past the suit that you're wearing and into the meat. As you take 6 points of straight damage, no damage to your armor as it's bypassed it.
I'm gonna use 5 points of luck to make it a 24.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even think you needed to, because it rolled, even with everything, a 12. Most of them did. As you just sort of like pull the cockpit over and over yourself, and you just see them scrape across the top of your cockpit as some of the blades sort of shatter a portion to the side, but none of them actually make it inside towards you. And you're so far back that you have completely left the almost any danger as you're in the back corridors of this space. Okay, next up is the spider tank, and another scream comes from Adina. You almost hear, it's almost as though this spider tank is yelling at you as this pulse again pushes debris farther away from the epicenter of the pulse, and she says, "Help, Mortal Code, please, it hurts."
No.
She's just crying. And
This is your timeout, Adina.
Astraea,
Oh no.
you hear as the entirety of your jet gets blown up from having a rocket detonate dead center in the bottom of your jet. There is a barrier to protect you from some of the damage, but I'm going to see how drastic the damage really is.
It got blown upward.
It just like the rocket shot straight from under it into the epicenter of the bottom, and as the sort of plume of explosion released and the energy of it, it lifted the the jet up.
Well, I said the whole jet blew up.
And Astraea is gone. The jet sort of rocks, gets blown up a few feet, and then sort of like slams down. And 23 points of damage. I would say reduced by 5, so 18 points of damage.
Dead, flat out.
No, 18 points of damage. You have to consider your armor now.
Dead, flat out.
What's your armor at?
10. Well, 9, I guess. But
No, so you took 9 points of damage?
I have 9 health.
Okay. As
It's like,
your body, you didn't put your seatbelt on, so your body is rocked
Oh my god.
as you fly into the already broken window of the jet that you're seated in, and you also hear as 2 of the cords, one of the back right cords and one of the front left cords, snap, and the jet sort of tips down at an angle. It's not aimed. None of the weapons are directly aimed at the spider tank. But as your view goes black, you definitely see from the cockpit the spider tank right below you, and you hear this Astraea.
Oh, yep. You couldn't do anything. Bye.
Netra, you're up.
Would I have, would I see this happen? Or would I just hear it?
From your position, you're not as deep in as Tink. I still believe you're...
I'm in the store.
Yeah, just like at the front portion of the store, you definitely hear the... You see the plume of orange color get released from this explosion, and you feel some of the wind past you and the heat from the explosion itself. You see, as the plane dips down low, as the cords snap, you see Astraea's form just unconscious in the cockpit, as 3 different drones are still trying to get inside.
I thought one of them was destroyed.
2 different drones, thank you.
I would call and be like, Tank! Astraea's down!
How? I can't see anything. I'm trying to make my way to the spider thing.
The spider blew a hole into that airplane.
Oh God. Well, nothing I can do now. Can you do anything?
I don't know. Wait, I already used my first aid.
No, you used it on me.
Oh, I can use
Yeah,
it
remember,
on
you
my
have it on each individual. It's like, well, how do I assess this situation? I'm using all the tools around me, and now I've done all that I can do. You haven't done that to
I see.
Astraea just yet.
Still like 2 turns away though, so.
Astrea's pretty far. I'm actually sorry. Yeah, you're 1 floor below Astraea. As you see Astraea, the jet dip down, revealing Astraea just based off of the level that it's now at. It's almost like the cockpit is now visible at your level because the cables have snapped and it's arced down below.
Okay. I'm gonna try and follow Tink down to the spider.
Tink has disappeared in a channel of back rooms that I would say you're not intimately enough familiar with to be like, oh, I'll just go with Tink and we'll totally get down to the base level.
I was hoping you would come with me, but
I would want to, but it wasn't my turn.
so hold on. You
To follow you.
You went back outside.
No, I was in the store and you went to the back room, and I would have liked. to
How did
follow.
the thing? How did one of those drones attack her then? If we were both in the store.
I thought it came into the store.
Yeah, there's just 1 left. She destroyed 2 of them in the round previously, and 1 was literally just like it's a small little drone, so
Okay.
it can easily enter smaller spaces. Although it did just be true to Half-Life, it did sort of bounce around like an imbecile
Zzz,
before
a
finally
bunch of
finding its
things.
way. Yeah.
So is it too late to follow him?
No, not necessarily, and you still have.
I mean, you'd see if you look in that direction, open doors. Not
Yeah,
many.
you see like an open door into a back room, and then sort of like light, like maintenance light spilling into that room from another door opened. But you also have 30 feet to literally pass through or navigate with your new ghost ability, and you would not. There's no threat of damage. How first aid would work in that situation, I don't think it. I'm not quite sure of that.
The tank is 30 meters below me.
Where you're currently at, I would say that's a little bit farther than 30 meters, just a little bit, because you're inside of a store now. You've backed away a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I feel
And
like
so
I can't
long
really
as
do
you're
anything.
so long as the hologram isn't destroyed, it can continue going. So it's not like you only have like a 30 meter radius that you can send it out. It's like if you make yourself safe, you can just operate as this hologram.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then in that case, I would like the hologram. Basically, I would like myself to go towards stairs.
The stairs on the walkway outside of the
I mean,
establishment?
I don't want to, but like, I don't know.
You said the
I would
hologram
like
can
to
go
try
through
and follow.
things?
The hologram can go through like the fence, but it still has to like go down stairs and different things. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just gonna follow him
Okay.
down towards the spider through the maintenance.
Okay, so I'll say you use your movement to catch up to him, and you're holding your action to use your next series of movement to follow him.
Yes.
Okay. Very homebrewy, very loosey-goosey, but we'll say that's how it works.
Yeah. I'll as soon as she reached out to me, I'll be like,
Don't be a hero! I found a safe way. It could lead us close to the spider thing.
and
I just need 60 feet. That's it.
I'll wait until I see her.
No, she used her movement to get to you, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's all in your turn, and she's holding. What she will have left after using her action to move with you is a bonus action.
Okay. Then we'll continue down this corridor and look for a way out.
Okay. There's a set of stairs to your right after about 10 feet, and then on the opposite side of the stairwell is an entrance into the next establishment.
I'll peek into the staircase. Does it go up or down?
Goes both. Goes both ways.
Do we head towards the airplane or the spider thing?
Let's head to the spider.
Yeah, I don't.
Otherwise, we're gonna get blown up as well.
Down it is.
We're gonna go down the staircase.
Okay. There is no series of establishments on the first floor. The diameter of the open space is just larger on the first floor. So it's like the pillars extend down from the extend from the base of the floor all the way up to the ceiling with a glass sort of dome over top. And where you are, there's no necessarily establishment. You're just going out of a maintenance walkway into open space. So you have, I would say, roughly about 25 meters in between you and the spider tank.
Yep, that's a one for my next roll. So yep.
Why would you roll right now?
What? Because it was my turn next after you. Like,
He's not done with his turn. I'm not going to accept that.
Right, Netra. If I put this ring on, I don't think it'll be able to see me, but I might get drawn in another direction. So
Stay on track. We need you to stay on track. And
You know it'll constantly target him if he's a physical form, and there's a longer distance. Well, there's a longer stretch between you and it.
Oh no, I was saying like stay on track with the ring on if we can.
Ah.
I have an idea.
Netra, you also have slow-mo, the drug.
I thought I used it already.
No, you never used it. You were thinking about using it.
Oh,
but
I
you
didn't actually use it
Yeah.
on that Chucky doll? Well, that's good.
I'm gonna toss this massage thing. Hopefully it's a distraction. I'm gonna try to make it up to the spider thing.
I'll have my hologram follow. Why don't I distract it with my hologram? You throw that massager to the left, and, you know, maybe I send my hologram out to the right. You're invisible.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna turn on the massager thing. My bonus action, just toss it as far as I can to the right, and then.
Oh, we're going right.
What? Oh. Apparently, I've been messing up all the directional things. Actually, I don't know how. Maybe that's too many things.
Confuse it.
No, I can't, because I can't put on the ring and toss it. So I'll just put on the ring.
No, the ring is like a bonus action.
Yeah,
It's probably
but
less than a bonus action.
Wouldn't tossing it also be a bonus action?
I would. The tossing it would be a full action. Like
Okay.
unless you're dropping it. Dropping it would be.
Well
a
then,
bonus
yeah,
action.
I'll do that. I'll toss it as my full action, and then put on the ring. And be like,
All right, here goes.
Just sort of like lights up that poor little massage tool.
and I don't know. I don't think I actually have any movement left. I wouldn't imagine I would.
No, because you use your action to get down here, and I would say you moved like 5 feet past the threshold of the door.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. Let's see. That was Tink and Astraea. Give me a. Oh, actually.
2. Well,
So,
5.
what's your body?
7. My body is 10, I guess. Yeah.
You stabilize.
What? I got half of my body though.
You have to roll above your. Sorry, below your body. If you roll below your body, you get. You stabilize. I just. Those are the official rules. There's no homebrew there. So you sort of.
I wouldn't
The
have to be passed
world
out?
around you is shaking. What's up?
Wouldn't have to be passed out since, or what? Or never mind. I don't know.
It says that you come back to 1 hit point. So, sorry, sooner or later, mortally wounded, you must roll a death save. Roll a d10. If you roll under your body, you live and can take your turn as usual, albeit with a -5 to all non-death save rolls. But future death save rolls will be at a -1.
Oh, I guess -5 for my rolls.
-5 for all your rolls. So you have your turn apparently fully available to you. As your blood sort of pours out of your mouth straight down, sort of landing on some of the controls in the flight stick. Your vision comes to you shaky as it sort of stabilizes as you see the articulating sort of like motor of the spider tank spinning its lead payload in your direction.
So I really can't do anything if I move. I get shot by it. If I stay, I fall to my death, or the drones will get me.
No, you still have your full action. I'm sorry, that's actually a failure as a DM. Because it just shot the... It's distracted with its machine gun thanks to the the massage toy that Tink had thrown out.
Oh. Are the drones still flying around me or no?
The drones are still like skirting across the the dome that you're in. Some of it's been broken based from their blades, and if they make it in next turn, it's not going to look very good for you.
What type of jet is this? Is this like a one of those jets where the wings move to like so it can stay in midair, or is it just one of the jets that just goes straight?
It's one of the jets that goes straight. Pretty much picture like the Halo jet, where it's like a jet black rectangle.
Oh.
Sorry, rectangle. Triangle. It's just one of them flying rectangle jets. It's a triangle, very like sleek jet with under the triangular arms is again that sort of like missile launcher and then machine gun. And you are currently like diagonally tilted downwards.
Can I see the tank? And can I aim at the tank with the guns or anything like that? No?
Your guns are aimed to the left, to the bottom left. They're just not aimed towards the tank. There are 3 more like metal strands of cable that are connecting your jet to the ceiling. One is on the left wing. The one on the right wing is disconnected, and so the right wing is tilted downward. There's one also on the back right, sort of
like in between the engines, or in between or like on the I don't know.
There's one in the very center, and then there's one on the very back right, and then there's one on the front left wing, if that makes sense. So there's a line of cables, one in the front left wing, one in the very center of the jet, and one in the very back right sort of tail.
So it's like a rope.
Yes.
And the front's hanging like that, basically.
Yeah. I would say if you
Can I cut the left one?
Exactly. If you disconnect the left one, and the plane can stabilize itself and not fall, then you would be able to have
that's
shot.
That's the only option I see. So I'm just gonna point my Goku blade out the window a little bit. I try and aim it for the rope, and then just extend it as far as I can to try and like.
Okay, give me a straight. I would say reflex plus marksman, because you're aiming at something.
Oh. 21.
Breaks through some of the glass of the window, shattering it, and just disconnects perfectly the cable as there's a moment of stasis before the wing just flops down below, and you are facing the pretty much everything is facing this spider tank. You are directly pointed downward towards it. As another scream assails you, you know that Adina is inside. You're not quite sure where to attack this thing without hurting her.
I end my turn there since I've used up all my stuff. So
okay. Drones are up. Go ahead and give me a Dex plus brawling plus 1d10 because you are competing against their up close.
23.
Shit. Natural 1. And that was an 8. Both the natural one just sort of scrapes around the lining of the dome in front of you, and the second one actually breaks through the open glass on the left side of you, and you continue with your Goku blade and just slice through it as it's coming right at you. It's almost like you stick it in front of your face and just bisect it as it breaks apart. It is now the tank's turn, and it renews. The side compartments sort of shift outward once again, and you see this in perfect clarity, Astraea, well through a blood-streaked face and body, as it throws out 6 more drones on top of the one that's hunting you right now.
It followed us? Even
that
behind
is
the closed
hunting
doors?
you.
Oh, okay.
So there's just 7 drones total now. And it is going to... You are invisible, Tink. Netra, you are right after it, so we'll see how that goes. Tink, give me Dex plus evasion, as from the ripped up massage tool, it starts strafing the impact of the minigun continues, rips up completely obliterates the massage tool and starts sort of arcing to the right and just ripping this straight line across the landscape around it. And you see this sort of line of bullets coming towards you, and with a natural 10, I'd say you just sort of like jump down on
Can't look at my roll.
you jump down on your belly and get splat straight towards the ground. You just hear just sort of like you see the streaks crossing you in a fan type motion as it's just into the wall behind you, and it's doesn't necessarily stop, but it, you know, we freeze frame due to the turn mechanisms and how it works right at you, Netra. And it is your turn.
So were we in a stairwell?
Wait, I'm sorry, actually, really quickly. You put the ring on, right?
Yeah.
Did you roll a...
That was the end of my turn.
Roll will plus concentration.
Do you want me to do that on my turn?
I'd just like to do it now, just to really understand how this might turn out.
17.
Okay, you managed to... You almost died last time. And so you managed to harken back to that memory and just sort of like... You feel this draw, like, no, I gotta go back into that door. I gotta run up these fucking stairs, and I gotta jump off the roof towards that tower. That's the best way I can get there. And you go, wait, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And you sort of shake your head free, and you see Astraea sort of like come back, sort of like shake her head, wipe the blood out of her eyes, and continue doing what she was doing in the cockpit. And she's like, no, I need to be here. Again, as the scream sort of pulses outward and sort of almost like knocks sense into you. What do you have to do?
So were we in a stairwell with a door?
You were, yes. And so the door, as you open it, it's literally like opening right into the space with the spider tank. And you saw Tink throw the massage tool and then just go invisible.
Yeah, I would like to... I wouldn't step out into that area yet. So I would close the door quietly, but also activate my hologram.
Okay.
And I would like the hologram to go to the left away from that massager tool and try and hide between, like stealthily, and try and hide behind a pillar or something. And I basically just need to move 20 feet towards the spider. And then
Okay.
I'll be within range.
Okay. But, so... You can also move your hologram towards the spider and you'll be in range.
That's what she's
Yeah, that's
talking
what I
about.
wanted.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like trying to use your hologram as a distraction.
No. I was taking advantage of that massager tool being a distraction and moving the hologram in the opposite direction.
Okay, so
it doesn't shoot at the hologram as well.
Okay,
Or
yeah.
hopefully.
Okay, yeah. So...
Wasn't it just...
What?
Tink throws the massage tool to the right. Your hologram strafes to the left as the massage tool is utterly destroyed, and the bullets are now coming towards the doorway that you and Tink are in, or I suppose you are in, and you sort of like back up, throw out your hologram that's running sort of alongside the incoming bullets. Almost going directly up towards the spider tank, and you there's like that green light on your HUD that flashes that it's go time for connection.
Perfect.
Go ahead and roll a interface, opposing interface.
What?
I really am not meant to be a DM.
No, don't
Let's
say
just
that.
say if I'm it's hard to phrase this. You guys would just never be in trouble, really, if my baddies were not significantly reinforced. I roll very low constantly, and it sucks. But yeah, so
you can fudge the numbers. We can't even see your rolls.
Yeah, but I don't like. That's why I roll in front of you when I can.
You
okay,
control the narrative.
24.
Okay.
You okay, Rummy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just stretching like.
Okay.
The shard has almost
Concerned.
entered my heart. Literally rolled a 13. So
Yay!
your ghost sprints up past the that's arcing, and it's literally about to meet and bisect your hollow person running over towards the spider tank, and you get right up close enough to see it sort of whirring lens that locks straight onto you, and you see the rocket arm sort of go from pointing straight up towards the jet to moving down towards you. You've successfully connected to it. What do you want to do? As you just hear this light whisper, "You made it."
Can I blow off one of its legs? Or like, how does this work? Can I minigun its legs off?
Yeah, you have connection to its mechanisms and its movement, I would say. As you bypass everything, and you start to get this sort of you get the view of the articulating lens, and you are looking at your hologram right now as the lens rotates up and it sees Astraea's form hanging in the cockpit seat right above it, and it's you see it almost like frantically looking around for other targets. You have its machine gun at your ready. You have its rockets at the ready, and you have its sort of compartments at the ready. It has and the drones. So you have like loosing its drones free. You have literally the cockpit, or the portion of it where its sort of power source is available to you, and you also have like any sort of ammunition that's connected to the side or feeding into its belts available to you. So it's like most of its functions are available to you. And you also have its protocols available to you. And so it's similar to the line of logic that you had presented to you when you assaulted the Ministry of Information's security sort of terminal. Thank you. You have like input protocol here as well.
Was there one like unlock hatch or something?
Yeah, and it's just this yeah.
I'm gonna do that unlock hatch.
Okay, you see, just for narrative flair, you see Netra sort of like sprint across this, again, like lightly water-filled ground, jump, land on top of the spider tank, and start to pull at the shaft that is holding Adina inside of it. And pure digital Netra starts to sort of like pull so hard that, you know, her sinews start to rip, and she's like, ah! And as she pulls the door open, her arms sort of like break off of each other, and the sort of like digital electrical components of her appendages, not like I'm referencing any scene in particular, also sort of rip off from the force of her pulling this latch up. The latch flies into the air as Netra's form sort of dematerializes, and as the latch comes up, this cylinder rotates up, and you just see Adina floating with some cables attached to her in the center of this tube with some liquid filled inside, sort of keeping her aloft.
I was gonna do?
Do I still have control over this?
I would. That's like all of your action. So she's been raised.
Okay.
And next up is Tink, and then you, Astraea.
Did we skip him?
Is that thing?
We didn't skip Astraea.
Is it still up? Is that thing still operational, or does it shut down as soon as the doors open on the back?
Adina has been raised.
Yeah, as soon as, so does it shut down as soon as she raises?
The components of it are not reacting to you anymore. The drones are now sort of like pulsing in and out this red light that fades out of existence and then pulses back into existence as they're in this almost like stable state. As every round you will be making a check to keep this going.
I see.
Tink, you're up.
Okay. Well, I see Adina, and I'm gonna get up and run towards the spider bot.
Okay.
And he says 25 meters or feet away.
We're getting close to the end, so it shifts from meters to feet.
Wow.
As you're running forward,
wait.
and almost like the tiles on the ground start almost like zooming under your feet faster than you actually anticipated.
Now that's a generous
Was that-
DM.
The tiles go from 3 feet in
1 meter, 1 foot. Anyway, and you said I don't have to roll again for the ring to like divert my attention towards.
No, you have to roll every round for that ring.
But you had me roll early, like it was her turn, but you had me roll.
Oh, sorry. Then yes, thank you for this round. You're good.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm going to try my best. Is
Like when the actual fuck. You don't know.
You're finally
Except you know
reading
exactly.
I'm just gonna try to hobble my way over there, and if I can make it to the spider, I'm gonna start climbing it.
Okay, you you can hear the components inside struggling against the current sort of edict that they've been given. They're like rebelling against it, and so you hear this almost like shifting and rebellion of the components. Like the machine gun is trying to shift up and towards Astraea. You are completely invisible, so you're just good to go.
Okay. Can I make it up, or do I have to roll to climb it?
Yeah, I'd say Dex plus Athletics. You're an elderly man. It has to be this way, unfortunately. You chose this.
It's not bad.
Not terrible. Actually, it's still pretty terrible. I'm gonna use all my luck.
To climb.
Yep. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
Oh,
It
boy.
makes sense because Tink has actually used any time Adina's been in danger. He's used everything at his disposal to get to her.
And it was an 11 otherwise. 19.
You just grab onto the machine gun that's slowly like trying to shift up towards Astraea. You sort of grab on, put your foot in one of the sort of like elbow components that's shifting upward, brings you up. You climb onto the primary structure where again this vat with Adina is placed, and you feel the warmth of the vat where Adina is in the top sort of component where you can open it.
Okay. Yeah. If I'm still able to do so, I would like to do that. Open it.
Right. You see Adina's eyes, like she seems in almost like constant pain. Like this is the same face that you saw her in deep inside the rad storm during the race, just like the entire way through. It just seems like she's been like she's fighting against something. And as you sort of twist the top mechanism, now that the whole thing has been released, it's found its sort of like it's met the apex of its rise. Green lights start to flash around the central sort of gripping point, and you twist it, and the lights highlight all together, and then you just can pull off.
As I'm doing that, I'm gonna look up and be like, and whisper,
Astraea, don't fire.
Yep.
You see Astraea like blood splats onto the visor, because she's also doing as poorly as you were just a few seconds ago. Astraea, you're up. Whatever you want to do. As Tink pulls off the top, and you see Adina sort of like look from Tink to Netra and up to you.
Dude, I don't know if I can see any of this, or I mean, because
your cockpit is looking down at all of this.
You said there's blood splatter all over the cockpit, though. So
oh, that was just some stupid narrative flair. So.
I guess I don't know.
I mean, I'll just say that, like, if you can see us clearly, or see that Adina's in there, then never mind. I didn't know how informed you were of the situation.
I will hold my action until I see that the Dina is away from the machine, I guess.
Okay. Just wanted to, since all this was happening at the same time, you're literally the last. Actually, Netra, give me one last tech plus interface, or interface contested roll.
27.
Everything continues at its sort of like dull stasis form, and you hear, since this is all one turn, as the turn ends with you holding your action and Tink holding this sort of like heavy, almost like cylindrical shield that was the top of this vat, and Adina's looking at you all with this sense of relief and pain at the same time. You just hear, game over. And everything starts to dematerialize around you, deconstructing as the fundamental infrastructure of the shapes around you start to lose their primary color and only get represented as a grid silhouette. The grid starts to spill away until nothing but darkness once again. And you hear, shortly after what seems like an infinity of darkness, Astraea, you would recognize right off the bat.
I need a weapon.
The hum of Dyson. The Dyson. And the sort of familiar sort of friction of the wheels pounding across the ground.
Were we in the Dyson? Or?
No, you were not in the Dyson.
No.
But you awake to your mother looking back at you with a worried face. And you look around and you see Tink, Adina, and Netra all in the, again, like large Escalade type vehicle where there's like the front seats, there's the middle seat that you're in laying down, and then the back seat, all three of them are sort of resting. Adina's actually in the middle seat with you. She's resting on your side, as Tink and Netra are resting in the back of the Dyson, which is not anywhere close to where you were when you went into the game. And you are ripping your way through the storm right now. And your mom says, Tetra says, thank goodness. We couldn't get you awake. We're almost there. We're almost out of the storm.
Where's Bastion and yeah.
Don't worry. Howland's been taking care of it on the way. You guys have been out for almost 10 hours.
How's Bright Bloom doing as well? I guess. I guess I'll look around just like it.
You know,
saved your car.
saw
you saved...
Bright Bloom get absolutely obliterated in
Yeah.
the city, and she just goes.
I was wondering if that was in the dream as well, but it's not.
How much have you missed?
I don't know. I just
And with that,
pass out again.
we will pick up next time on Sasapunk.
We back to our original health before we went into the game, or still at the game health? I guess.
You're still at the game health.
Oh, great.
So I'm at 0.
1.
So-
When you make your saving throw, you come back to 1.
Can we have like a Dorothy moment when I come back?
You're gonna have to remind me what a Dorothy moment means.
There wasn't a dream. There
You
was
were
a
there,
place.
and you were there,
you-
and you were there.
I'm gonna
you-
sniff,
And you
stick my hand
were
behind
there.
or
Which
hand in my
couldn't have
pants, and be
been.
like, "Oh, it was real." That shit. This shit's real.
No, Auntie Tetra. It was real. Yeah, I'm gonna click my heels. It's right arm.
Netra just disappears.
No place like home.
You wake up in a nice old house in the 1800s. I don't know what time she was.
Get out of here.
She's in the middle of nowhere, all right? During that time, it could
Kansas.
have been.
Wasn't it the Great Depression she was in?
I don't know, man. It's been such a long
We're
time.
digressing.
Like
Clearly, I said if only
the
I
Dust
had a
Bowls or
brain
something.
when it was the completely wrong character to even say that. All right. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed the raid. There may be more in the future that I'll think a bit more through next time. They saved Adina and saved the day and ended up back where it all began. Remember to check out Acheron. They've just got 3 days left for their Kickstarter. Go ahead and check them out. Support them. We have engaged with them, talked with them. They're awesome people. Their game is awesome. And again, check us out tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to check our Acheron adventure out in episode 2. And to catch up, check out YouTube at Sasapunks. And to check out the first episode, as well as every single episode of Sasapunk is also released there to catch up. And also, we have the losers with us. Luna and Enzer together make Loser. Go ahead and check out their stream when you're just feeling a hankering for some awkward content when you can't quite get a hold of this stream. The Loser Club is where it's at. And as always, until fate next brings us together, and never stop playing role-playing games.
Unless you
Press
really
the
must,
button.
and it's
Press
like
the button.
0 degrees
Press
outside.
the
Don't play
button.
games, and that, but
Please
it's very
just
dangerous,
press
very
the
bad,
button.